man who looks like an angel, but he's really a devil. He looks so nice and soft. People say, oh, he seems like such a nice man. No, unless you saw him in action. And you saw that with a certain witness that went through hell. And when we wanted to do things, he wouldn't let us do those things. But when the government wanted something, they got everything. They got everything they wanted. It was a rigged trial. We wanted a venue change where we could have a fair trial. We didn't get it. We wanted a judge change. We wanted a judge that wasn't conflicted. And obviously he didn't do that. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. We had a DA who was a failed DA. Crime is rampant in New York, violent crime. That's what he's really supposed to be looking at. Crime is rampant in New York. Yesterday in McDonald's, you had a man hitting him up with machetes, a machete. Whoever can imagine even a machete being wielded in a store, in a place where they're eating, and he's going rampant. And Bragg is down watching a trial on what they call crimes. They're falsifying business records. That sounds so bad. To me, it sounds very bad. You know, it's only a misdemeanor, but to me, it sounds so bad. When they say falsifying business, that's a bad thing for me. I've never had that before. I'm falsifying. You know what falsifying business records is? In the first degree. They say falsifying business records. Sounds so good, right? It means that legal expense. I paid a lawyer, totally legal. I paid a lawyer a legal expense. And a bookkeeper, without any knowledge from me, correctly marked it down in the books. A very professional woman, highly respected. She testified. Marked it down in the books as a legal expense. So a legal expense, paid a lawyer, is a legal expense in the books. It's not sheetrock, construction, or any other thing. It's a legal expense. Think of that. This is what the falsification of business records were. And I said, what else are you going to call it? What else are you going to call it? Now, I would have testified. I wanted to testify. The theory is you never testify, because as soon as you testify, anybody, if it were George Washington, don't testify, because they'll get you on something that you said slightly wrong, and then they sue you for perjury. But I didn't care about that. I wanted to. But the judge allowed them to go into everything that I was ever involved in, not this case, everything that I was ever involved in, which is a first. In other words, you could go into every single thing that I ever did. Was he a bad boy here? Was he a bad boy there? And my lawyer said, what do you need to go through? And all you wanted to do is testify simply on this case, because I would have loved to have testified. To this day, I would have liked to have testified. But you would have said something out of whack, like it was a beautiful sunny day and it was actually raining out. And I very much appreciate the big crowd of people outside. That's incredible what's happening. The level of support has been incredible. So the whole thing is legal expense was marked down as legal expense. Think of it. This is the crime that I committed, that I'm supposed to go to jail for 187 years for. When you have violent crime all over this city at levels that nobody's ever seen before, where you have businesses leaving, and businesses are leaving because of this, because heads of businesses say, man, we don't want to get involved with that. I could go through the books of any business person in this city, and I could find things that in theory, I guess, let's indict him, let's destroy his life. But I'm out there, and I don't mind being out there, because I'm doing something for this country, and I'm doing something for our Constitution. It's very important, far beyond me. And this can't be allowed to happen to other presidents. It should never be allowed to happen in the future. But this is far beyond me. This is bigger than Trump. This is bigger than me. This is bigger than my presidency. And the people understand it, because I just see a poll just came out, the Daily Mail. That was the first one, came out, was done last night right after the verdict, where I'm up 6 points. 6 points from what we already were. We were leading fairly substantially. We're up 6 points in the Daily Mail poll. Now, maybe other polls come out and it says something differently. But a lot of people have predicted it because the public understands, and they understand what's going on. This is a scam. There's a rigged trial. It shouldn't have been in that venue. We shouldn't have had that judge. He should have allowed us to have an election expert. We had the best expert, most respected expert, head of the Federal Elections Commission. He was all set to testify. He was waiting for 2 days. And when it was his turn, Bragg's people protested. And the judge knocked him out, said, you can't testify. He actually said, you can't testify for anything having to do with the trial. You can say what the federal elections is. Well, that doesn't help. Everybody knows that. But you can't testify. So essentially, he wasn't able to testify. Other people weren't able to testify. But with these people, they were able to use people salacious. By the way, and nothing ever happened. There was no anything. Nothing ever happened, and they know it. But they were as salacious as they could be, and it had nothing to do with the case, but it had to do with politics. And do you notice the timing? The timing was perfect. This case was dead. It was dropped by every agency, every governmental board. It was dropped by the highly respected Southern District. They said, no, there's no case here. It was dropped by federal election, and that's what it's about. This is about a federal election, not a state election. You're not even allowed to look at it. They took the state and the city, and they went into a federal election. They're not allowed. The people from federal election, Southern District, and Washington dropped the case. Everybody dropped the case. There was no case. Cy Vance dropped the case. And when Bragg came in, he said, this is the most ridiculous case I've ever seen. And who would have a certain person, again, gag order, who would have a certain person like this ever testify? He said, this is essentially one of the worst people I've ever seen ever to testify. He said, the craziest case I've ever seen. This is Bragg. Then when I announced I was running for president, a long time later, they decided to revive this case. And they got a judge, Judge Marchand, who was responsible for another case that was also brought. It destroyed the life of a very good man, by the way. Destroyed the life of a very good man who went to prison once, and then they just put him in prison again because they said he lied. He didn't lie. I looked at the statements he made. In fact, he didn't remember something, and they put him in jail. Again, they've destroyed him. With me for many years, he was an honorable person. He was an honest man. And if you look at what he did, supposedly, it never happened. There's never been anything like this. Over the education of his grandchildren. Over, he didn't report that he had a car or 2 cars on his income. I don't know. I wonder how many people here have cars. I wonder how many people said, oh, gee, I have a car that's worth X dollars. How do you even figure it? And I guess you do have to report it, but I would say probably almost nobody does. Nobody even thinks about it. They put this man, they destroyed this man, but they put him in jail again because they didn't want him to testify. They didn't want him to testify. That's why he went to jail. They put him in jail twice. He's 77 years old. Now, normally I'd say that's an old guy, but I don't feel 77. Nobody ever says that about me. I'd like them to say, gee, we have to have a little sorrow for this man, because they just don't say that about me. But maybe I'm better off that way. I think I'm probably better off that way. But they put him in jail twice. And you have to see what they put him in jail. And he was threatened by the judge. This man was told, you're going to get 15 years in jail if you don't give up Trump. And he was told that. You're going to get 15 years in jail. And he made a plea deal because he didn't want to spend the rest of his life. And he was told that viciously. We're living in a fascist state. He was told that viciously. So you can go to jail for 4 months, 5 months, or you can get 15 years in jail. So do a plea. Almost who wouldn't do that plea? Everyone does those pleas. It's a horrible thing. There's a whole group of lawyers that fight that. It's so unfair. It's so unfair. But they destroyed his life. So many other things. You look at Southern District didn't want to bring the case. Nobody wanted to bring the case. And then you know who didn't want to bring the case? Most of all is Bragg. Bragg didn't want to bring it. But then he brought it, and they tried to make it a different case. They didn't say legal expense equal legal expense. Again, if I wrote down and paid a lawyer, and by the way, this was a highly qualified lawyer. Now, I'm not allowed to use his name because of the gag order. But, you know, he's a sleazebag. Everybody knows that. Took me a while to find out. But he was effective. He did work. But he wasn't a fixer. He was a lawyer. You know, they like to use the word fixer. He wasn't a fixer. He was a lawyer. At the time, he was a fully accredited lawyer. Now, he got into trouble not because of me. He got into trouble because he made outside deals, and he had something to do with taxi cabs and medallions, and he borrowed money. And that's why he went. And then he pled to three election violations. And as soon as I saw that, I said, I wonder why he did that. He pled. He took a deal. Now, he took a deal because he wanted to get off. In other words, I'll take a plea deal and I want to get off. And he wanted to make a deal with the Southern District. And they wrote the worst report I think I've ever seen on any human being, other than the report that was written on James Comey by the Inspector General, a very great Inspector General, actually. Wrote a report that was so bad. This one was possibly worse. The Southern District, the judge didn't let us use it. He said, it's hearsay. I said, it's not hearsay. Wouldn't let us use it. This is about the man. But he got in trouble for a very simple reason, because he was involved with borrowing a lot of money, and he did something with the banks. I don't know if it's defrauded the banks, but something happened. You guys know what it is. And then in addition to that, he gave up on three things where he wasn't guilty. In fact, they were going to testify in that. The head of the FEC, the Brad Smith, the election expert, #1 rated in the country, was going to testify. He took a plea on three things. He just added them in because that gave him more bargaining power with respect to me. But the three things that he pled on, having to do with the election and having to do essentially a little bit with me, they weren't crimes. They weren't crimes. Nor is paying money under an NDA. So we have an NDA, non-disclosure agreement. It's a big deal, a non-disclosure agreement. Totally honorable, totally good, totally accepted. Everybody has them. Every company has non-disclosure agreements. But the press called it slush fund and all sorts of other things. Hush money, hush money. It's not hush money. It's called the non-disclosure agreement. And most of the people in this room have a non-disclosure agreement with their company. It's a disgrace. So it's not hush money. It's a non-disclosure agreement, totally legal, totally common. Everyone has it. And what happened is he signed a non-disclosure agreement with this person, I guess other people, but it's totally honest. You're allowed to make the payment. You don't have to make it. You can make it any way you want. It's a non-disclosure agreement. And he signed that. And there was nothing wrong with signing it. And this should have been a non-case. And everybody said it was a non-case, including Bragg. Bragg said, until I ran for office. And then they saw the polls. I was leading the Republicans. I was leading the Democrats. I was leading everybody. And all of a sudden, they brought it back. It's a very sad thing that's happening in our country. And it's a thing that I'm honored. In a way, I'm honored. It's not that it's pleasant. It's very bad for family. It's very bad for friends and businesses. But I'm honored to be involved in it because somebody has to do it. And I might as well keep going and be the one. But I'm very honored to be involved because we're fighting for our Constitution. The money that was paid legally. There was nothing illegal. In fact, the lawyer in creating the NDA, because at that time he was a fully accredited lawyer. He wasn't a fixer. I never thought of him as a fixer. The media called him a fixer, or the prosecutors called him a fixer. He was a lawyer, and he was fairly good. Later on, I didn't like what he did. I didn't like, for instance, I didn't like that When I became president, he went around and made deals with companies. When I heard that, he was gone. He was gone. And he had payments coming to him. And a lot of this involved things that are very simple. There was nothing wrong. This was standard stuff, all standard stuff. Everything involved was standard. There was no crime here. In fact, I just watched a couple of the reports. You watched Jonathan Turley, Andy McCarthy, Greg Jarrett. You look at all of these people, Mark Levin, all very talented people, great people, many more. And they don't know me, essentially. They don't know me. They're legal scholars and experts. But I look at them. I watched Turley this morning saying, there's no crime here. Everybody says there's no crime here, except for this DA that's got the city out of control with crime. It's absolutely out of control. So we have an NDA that was signed. We have legal expenses. And here's the thing on legal expenses. You have 100 where they say they do a charge. I just recorded this out. Falsification of business records in the first degree. It sounds so bad. I said, wow. And even my own lawyers, I get very upset with them because they don't say what it is. They say, well, falsification of legal records is only a felony. Well, that's a lot. It's only they say a misdemeanor. But they try and bring it up to a felony if there's two crimes. They have all these different things. The other thing is they missed the statute of limitations by a lot because this was very old. They could have brought this 7 years ago instead of bringing it right in the middle of the election. So they missed the statute of limitations. They did everything. Now, let me give you the good news. The good news is last night, we just got a report this morning. In the history of politics, I believe, maybe I'm wrong, somebody will find that I'm wrong, maybe, but I don't think so. They raised with small money donors, meaning like $21, $42, $53, $38, a record $39 million in about a 10-hour period. No, think of that. I like those people. Because so far, I guess it's backfired. Now, I don't know. I'd rather not have it happen. I don't want to have it backfire. I don't want to win this thing legitimately, not because they were stupid and did things that they shouldn't be doing. They shouldn't have brought this case. They were saying it this morning. This is a case that should not have been brought. I watched Andy McCarthy say this is a case that should not have been brought. And that was this morning. But they all say that. Every legal scholar has said it. And these are great people. They really understand the law. The other thing, a poll just came out. The first poll, I don't know, maybe
that is former President Trump. He is still in the middle of remarks, has been speaking for about 23, 25 minutes, somewhere in that range at Trump Tower in New York City. We have Hancock and Kelly with us. Michael Kelly, John Hancock, Amy Marxkors, Chris Ranji. When we come back, we will react to what we just heard from the former president after being found guilty on 34 felony counts in New York yesterday. It's the Chris and Amy Show on KMOX.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential. But finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-700-6898. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-700-6898, 800-700-6898, or biglou.com.
Why'd the kid jump off the boat?
I don't know. Why?
Peer pressure.
Oh, good one, Ned.
Ned isn't funny, but Ned owns a boat, and you don't. So every time Ned tells another one of his unfunny boat puns, you're going to laugh loud and keep on laughing until you get a boat of your own.
A pier where you put a boat.
Yeah, I get it.
And when you do get a boat of your own, make sure you save money by bundling it with your home, auto, or other vehicles with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code MONTHFREE by May 31st. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Paid for by government.com.
Have you heard? A recent stash of 1881 Morgan silver dollar coins has been found. These gorgeous 1881S silver dollar coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck. Only a limited quantity of these Morgan silver dollar coins are available. Coin experts are calling this an amazing opportunity for anyone interested in silver coins. Just call government at 1-800-473-0982 and you are guaranteed a mint condition 1881S Morgan silver dollar featuring the iconic S mint mark of the San Francisco Mint. But with limited quantity, you must call now. These 1881S silver coins are still in uncirculated condition. That is 140 years of history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-473-0982. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $25 value free with every order. Call 1-800-473-0982 now to secure your 1881S Morgan silver dollars before they sell out. That's 1-800-473-0982.
Diverse opinions, mutual respect. That's the politics you'll find at KMOX. Your connection to St. Louis and the region.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Hey guys, it's not too late for a deep spring cleaning on your home. Give my friends at Zero Res a call, 314-474-2020. Schedule today and get 3 rooms of carpet clean for just $129 and take $50 off your air duct cleaning. Make sure you mention the DGS when you go to ZeroResSTL.com.
1033 clouds and 73 downtown at the Arch. A day after the New York jury delivered the historic guilty verdict in Donald Trump's criminal hush money trial, the presumptive Republican presidential nominee is holding a news conference where he's speaking publicly about the conviction and his White House bid.
It really makes a difference. They have a lot of money on the other side. I don't know.
Trump
where they
angrily
get it.
denouncing the trial as a disgrace, telling reporters he was a, quote, innocent man. Tesla is recalling more than 125,000 vehicles. Jeff Gilbert tells us why.
Tesla has at least 104 warranty claims of vehicles where the seatbelt reminder activates at the wrong time. So they're doing a software update on about 125,000 Teslas throughout the model lineup to fix the issue. No injuries or crashes have been reported.
If you're a fan of cider, tomorrow's Cider Days is for you at Eckert's Farm in Belleville. The Cider Festival from noon till 4 will feature tastings of more than 50 ciders from local cideries and orchards, including Eckert's Hard Ciders. It is a ticketed event to sample 9 3-ounce pours.
After an off day yesterday, the Cardinals are back at tonight. They are in Philadelphia to open up a 3-game weekend series. Miles Michaelis starts tonight for the Cardinals. He's 3-5 with a 5.64 ERA. He has a career 4.26 ERA in 8 career appearances against the Phillies. Philadelphia will go with Aaron Nola. He comes in 6-2 with a 3.04 ERA. The Cardinals still trying to figure him out. In 12 starts against the Cardinals, he's 7-3 with a 2.54 ERA. First pitch tonight is scheduled for 5:40. That means our coverage begins at 4:45. The Redbird Report is sponsored by Aloha Pools USA. Win big with a pool or spa at AlohaPoolsUSA.com. Matt Pauley, KMOX Sports.
2-vehicle crash on 70 West at the airport. That's in the left lane. 70 West at Lindbergh South. The exit there is closed because of road work, and 70 West, the exit to West Florissant, is closed because of road work as well. Forecast is sponsored by Chesterfield Fence and Deck, your premier provider of fences, decks, patios, sunrooms, and more. Call them for a free estimate today, now offering 48 months interest-free financing on your next outdoor project. Chesterfield Fence and Deck, chesterfieldfence.com. This afternoon, mix of sun and clouds with a high of 84. For tonight, a couple of showers and a thunderstorm. Could be ponding of water on streets and highways, low 66. For tomorrow, humid with a couple of showers and a thunderstorm and a high of 78. Right now, 73 downtown. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Baseball season is heating up. With the free Odyssey app, you can get the most entertaining local coverage of your team while you're at work or on the go. Stay locked in and in the know with your favorite hosts as they bring you unfiltered takes, react to the latest team news, and talk to callers. Don't miss any of the action. Stream the shows you love live or on demand with the Odyssey app. That's AUDACY. Download it today for free.
A roller coaster ride of banter and brilliance. Chris and Amy on KMOX.
So we have a judge's verdict. You know what the confliction is. Nobody wants to write about it, and I'm not allowed to talk about it. If I do, he said, I get put in jail.
It is the Chris and Amy show on KMOX. It is Friday morning. We've got Hancock and Kelly with us. Former President Trump is still speaking at Trump Tower in New York. We took about 25 minutes of his press conference this morning, and it was, I'm not sure. He started off by talking about the border.
I wasn't expecting that.
I didn't think that's what it was going to be. Guys, what'd you think? I don't know.
I want to go get some Taco Bell.
I don't know what it was. I mean, you would think that I saw your tweet, Chris, and agree with you that, I mean, the president knew he was going to be, so the former president knew he was going to be speaking this morning.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe he thought that this would be kind of a rally style, but it didn't seem like there was a purpose. It didn't seem like he had a strategy to address what he believes to be was an injustice of him.
Yeah, so the tweet was that the press conference is like calling a timeout and then throwing the ball right out of bounds on the very first play out, because he had 16 hours to get ready for this. And I'm not sure what he was trying to accomplish.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, of course he wants to address what happened to him. This is an historic moment. We have a former president for the first time convicted on felony counts, 34 of them. The jury decided unanimously on all of these counts that he was guilty of them. So we've never had this happen before. It's just I'm not sure what this press conference is supposed to be and how it's addressing those things.
Well, obviously it's not addressing those things. That's not what it is. The purpose of this press conference was for Trump to reiterate that he is the most unfairly treated person in the history of America. That's number one. So just going on and on about how it's unfair. But he set the stage first with saying, the border's a mess. You have people, criminals, insane asylums crossing the border. Not relevant, but just reminding people to stay angry and afraid. You got to keep people angry and afraid. So he did that. He, again, reiterated that he's being unfairly treated. They keep going after him and said, I'm under this gag order, this nasty gag order. He is not under a gag order. It's over. It's done.
He can say whatever he wants.
He can say whatever he wants. And he is. He is saying whatever he wants. How many times have I heard him, and then not to pick on Fox News, but Fox News saying, here's all the things we're not allowed to say. And then they say them over and over again every night to millions and millions of people.
If you hear it a dozen, 2 dozen, 3 dozen times, you start to, at minimum, doubt whether or not the other thing is true. You at least have some...
That's the nature of the lie.
Yeah,
I
don't,
what lying does.
If I come in every day and I say, Michael Kelly has murdered somebody and I know it. Michael Kelly has murdered somebody and I know it. Well, we know he hasn't. At least we think he hasn't. We know he hasn't. But if you hear it 55 times, you at least, at the bare minimum, creates doubt in your mind that, well, maybe he has.
And also it's in the back of your mind. So then maybe 6 months, a year later, they go, did you know Michael Kelly murdered someone? And you're like, wait, I think I did hear that. They're quite literally creating narratives out of thin air, and it starts to feel real. And then you go, oh, well, that seems like just the type of thing that Biden would do, right? It is making up a narrative that is the worst possible scenario about your opposition, creating your opposition, a narrative around your opposition to be the worst person ever. So then when you hear lies, you're like, well, they would do that. It doesn't matter if they did it. It's that you think they would do something like that.
Yeah, I mean that's the nature when you lie. The intent there is to get others to believe that lie, and when you lie enough, long enough, loud enough, more and more people believe it. And there are now in this country tens and tens and tens of millions of people who believe the election in 2020 was stolen, and you're not going to convince them otherwise.
Well, and that's why I think this right now is extra upsetting, because the one thing you could do to really, truly hurt America is to kick down one of the supporting cornerstones, a pillar, which is fair, free elections. Perhaps another thing you could do is create massive distrust in the justice system.
Yeah,
you take down those two things, this country's over.
And the FBI.
Mm-hmm.
And all of that's being done now, and it's not good. This is like really seriously bad for America.
Well, it's not truthful.
Yeah. That to me is what is the most alarming, because it's become any organization that we have long revered in this country, Department of Justice, FBI, any of these other or institutions like elections that we have all taken so seriously. Now it has become, well, anything that goes against me and my side, well, it must be fake, or it must be out to get me, or it's rigged, or it's what was it? The word that he used yesterday that he always says rigged. He says that over and over again. Disgrace. Everything is out to get him now. That's just not reality.
And it's fine because we all expect it from him. I mean, he's the most grievance-laden person there is, right? I mean, the amount of people who are just out to get Donald Trump on everything is just, unheard of in his life. What's crazy, though, is to watch people who know better and who've said differently
that's the problem.
come back.
Yeah.
So there's Marco Rubio, probably made one of the best speeches against Donald Trump in 2016. And they played that last night right next to what he's saying today. And it's the exact yin to the yang of what he was saying.
See,
and he's carrying the lie. Mitch McConnell, of all people, was carrying the lie this morning.
Look, Tim Scott is not stupid. Marco Rubio is not dumb. Neither is Ted Cruz. None of these people are idiots. They know what the reality is, and they continue to say these things because they know they have to suck up to him, or they're afraid of being voted out because people believe it. I think this is a really bad place for us to be in. It makes me sad.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not angry about it. It's really disheartening that you have this many people, this many intelligent people that continue to repeat this stuff, knowing full well as soon as the cameras are turned off that I don't believe any of what I just said. They know this.
Getting back to the case itself, while we have Hancock and Kelly in studio, it was in April of 2023 that Alvin Bragg, the district attorney in New York, unsealed his office's indictment of Trump. That indictment alleged Trump falsified business records. Now, the statute of limitations in New York for that misdemeanor is 2 years. That had run out, except if it's a felony because those business records were falsified in the pursuance of another crime, it becomes a felony, and then the statute of limitations has not then run out. So Alvin Bragg pursued the case, which former district attorneys did not. Going into this case, from the moment he unsealed the documents, I thought it was the weakest case.
No question.
A little legal convoluted theory here to try to get to a felony. And it frustrated me because there are so many things that Trump is good for, in the sense of he's good for lying and having classified documents and risking national security. That to me is the biggest one. I don't like starting with the weakest one, because then what it does is the moment you acknowledge, yeah, this was the weakest case, I wouldn't have brought it, it gives his most ardent supporters psychological permission to discredit all
of it.
the
Well,
other valid
that's where it is
indictments.
right now. That's exactly where it is amongst folks that are supporting Donald Trump. And this case was a dog, man. I mean, it shouldn't have been brought. But it was, and the jury looked at the evidence that was presented. Were the business records falsified? Yeah. Was it done in pursuance of a crime of election fraud? I mean, it's a pretty tortuous link there.
Here's where I'm not, what I don't understand. If the case is a dog, then why is he guilty on all of it?
Yeah,
I mean, and all of the jurors are not, I promise you, all of the jurors are not Biden supporters, and some of them I guarantee voted for him.
The 34 counts, I think all were related directly to falsifying business records.
I think when you're saying it's a dog, John, because look, at the end of the day, 12 of his peers, and he is a New Yorker,
some of which probably voted for him.
Yeah, looked at the evidence and said he did it.
Yeah.
I think what you're saying is that if this was a state rep, a state senator, or Mike Kelly or John Hancock, it likely wouldn't have had heaven and earth moved.
A U.S.
and
senator.
34 charges like this.
Yeah.
I can appreciate that argument.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been brought. And certainly not using the campaign finance law. I mean, I don't know. That's ridiculous.
You guys want to stick around a little bit longer?
I can. I know Michael's got to go.
I do have to roll. I apologize.
Unbelievable.
Oh, come on.
I'll hang in
Michael.
there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, at least John Hancock cares about us.
That's exactly right.
Michael
He'll
Kelly
be here next week with us, right?
That's-
To deal with the.
Yeah, I'll be here next week.
You'll be here next
Yeah,
week. Okay,
yeah.
good.
He's in with me on Monday.
You are?
Yeah.
Amy, you on vacation again?
Yeah, she's
Well,
always on
I'm
vacation.
off.
Really?
Yeah.
Michael
It's
Kelly,
not a
goodbye.
vacation.
See you guys.
I love you, man. That's Michael Kelly, John Hancock, Amy Marks Kors, Chris Ranji. Back in a moment on KMOX.
Jewels on Hampton in St. Louis Hills is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, and fine watches on site. Jewels on Hampton is a premier jeweler with an exquisite selection of diamonds, semi-precious stone jewelry, and vintage watches. Their expert design team can restyle your jewelry to today's contemporary style. They also do jewelry and watch repair. Need extra cash? Jewels on Hampton is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, and fine watches. Bring your collectibles and clocks, sports memorabilia, and figurines too. Jewels on Hampton, 4506 Hampton, just 3 blocks south of Chippewa. Call them at 314-752-5000. That's 314-752-5000. So if you need some extra cash, looking for that one-of-a-kind piece, make Jewels on Hampton your first stop. Jewels on Hampton in St. Louis Hills.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through HIMS, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
I think my battery's dead. With free battery testing and charging, we can help you get back on the road.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
So what if I need a new one? We have the right Duralast battery for you, only at AutoZone.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
And what about my old battery? We can recycle it right here at America's #1 battery destination.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Ad paid for by AG Marketing Group. Attention timeshare owners. If you need to get rid of your timeshare for any reason, please listen to the following message. Getting out of a timeshare commitment is not easy, and it takes time. But we specialize in helping consumers legally get rid of their expensive timeshares forever. Can't get the vacation dates that work for you? Maybe you felt taken advantage of or forced into the timeshare? Maybe you just can't continue to shoulder those monthly payments any longer. If you need to eliminate your timeshare commitment, then you need to take down this number, 800-866-7061. We will safely and legally get rid of your timeshare payments forever, all with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Don't continue to let your timeshare be a financial burden to you and your loved ones. Call us now at 800-866-7061. The call is free. The consultation is free. Call 800-866-7061. That's 800-866-7061. Again, 800-866-7061.
RGA Enterprise Services Company in St. Louis, Missouri seeks to hire a business analyst, underwriting innovation to serve as liaison between users and IT teams to analyze business and functional requirements and establish data requirements and processes related to severity scores and underwriting rules, assists in evaluation of business requests to determine requirements, feasibility, and recommend business solutions, trains users on system functionality and supports during all phases of implementation, researches, reviews, and documents existing processes, procedures, and functions for enhancement, accuracy, and redevelopment. May work remote. Must possess a bachelor's degree in computer science or a closely related field. Must also possess at least 36 months IT-related experience performing duties of business analyst and or quality assurance professional. Qualified applicants can mail the resume to RGA, attention, Human Resources Mobility Specialist, 16600 Swingley Ridge Road, St. Louis, Missouri, 63017. That's RGA, attention, Human Resources Mobility Specialist, 16600 Swingley Ridge Road, St. Louis, Missouri, 63017.
Have you been wanting to find the secret to losing weight and getting healthy? Hey everyone, it's Dr. Michael Glickert, St. Louis Weight Loss Secret, and we know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day. Schedule your free consultation to meet with one of our health coaches who will determine which of our custom weight loss programs is right for you. Visit moweightloss.com now to schedule your free in-person or virtual consultation.
This is Debbie Monterey, and when you are really ready to finally lose that weight, call St. Louis Weight Loss Secret. St. Louis Weight Loss Secret helped me to lose 40 pounds. I was so motivated because I was losing a half a pound to a pound per day. Call St. Louis Weight Loss Secret today. Many patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in about a month or two. For your free private weight loss consultation, call 314-207-8600, 314-207-8600, or online at moweightloss.com.
Ordinary radio is overrated. Extraordinary radio now. Chris and Amy on the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
If they can do this to me, they can do this to anyone.
That's former President Trump this morning speaking at Trump Tower in New York after being found guilty on 34 felony counts in a New York courtroom yesterday, all related to the hush money trial. We still have with us Republican strategist John. Can I call you that? John Hancock. I've never titled you anything.
Yeah.
So you are Republican strategist, John.
Well,
John
you got to
Hancock.
get more strategy because our party is falling apart, bud.
Well.
Maybe.
So we had a caller who had to go, but they wanted you to maybe go into more of why this trial, maybe some of the nuance of why this trial you believe should not have been brought.
Well, so the underlying campaign finance violation has to do with they paid Stormy Daniels off to keep her quiet because of the election. That was the case they were building. Paying her off because of the election is not a crime. The crime is accepting an an illegal corporate campaign donation.
That would be Michael Cohen's check.
That would be the check from the Trump organization to Michael Cohen, and according to the theory here, that should have been disclosed on the Federal Election Commission paperwork that the Trump campaign filed. Well, that's just a bunch of hooey. That is to say that if the Trump campaign had simply written a $130,000 check and a little more for the tax burden that Michael Cohen experienced, which is what they did, and booked it as legal expenses on the campaign form, there's no crime. Nothing. No crime. It's not illegal to pay off a porn star. Now, perhaps the former president would have been better served not to have slept with a porn star. And
Wouldn't have been served at all at that point, would he?
Might have been better served to...
No, that's called serviced.
Might have been better served to have not tried to cover up writing a business check and then booking it as legal fees when it was really reimbursement for paying off a porn star.
Mm-hmm.
But the underlying crime under the campaign finance law is bogus. And to Amy's earlier point, the statute of limitations had run on the false bookkeeping records. So you had to have the Federal Election Commission crime, in quotation marks, in order to bring the case at all. And I think the case should not have been brought.
So I guess my question is, if this is a situation where this is all wrongful and he doesn't deserve these felony charges, he doesn't deserve to be convicted of any of them, he does have an appeal process and he's going to appeal. Do we believe enough in the justice system that if he is not actually guilty of felony crimes, then they are going to overturn these decisions?
I think
and if they don't overturn them, should we just accept them?
Yes. But I think it's very likely this case will get overturned. I really do, on a number of grounds.
Yeah. From my understanding, I mean, obviously it will take time. So is it the sentencing that's later on this summer, 4 days?
July 11th.
Yep, but 4 days before the Republican National Convention. But even after the sentencing, no action takes place the next day. Like all the appeals go forth. And I know Brad Young was saying earlier this morning with Harvey Weinstein, I think it was 1.5 years for the appeals to go forth for that one New York conviction to be overturned.
Right.
You might think maybe they'll move faster in this case, but it's not like in July he's going to even face the consequences of this conviction because all the appeals that will be set in motion.
So we have just a few seconds here, John, before we go to break. Just all of this that has happened in the last 24 hours. What is your feeling? How does this leave you feeling?
Sad. And, really rueful about the election that we're about to have.
John Hancock, we love you, pal.
See you guys.
See you Monday.
Yes.
You and me Monday, big boy.
Yes.
We're going to have a good time.
All right.
All right. It's Chris and Amy with you for the next couple of hours on KMOX.
Hey, this is Charlie Brennan with a quick reminder. Schedule that annual eye exam. Routine eye exams not only diagnose vision changes, but can detect systemic diseases like diabetes, hypertension, high cholesterol, thyroid disease, to name just a few. Do what I do. Call Ophthalmology Associates at 314-966-5000. The doctors there, Greg Birdie, Ranj Malhotra, Samuel Berry, Robert Brusati, Andy Royer, will provide you with the area's most comprehensive eye exam. These doctors can also help with dry eye disease, the result of staring at screens, flying in airplanes, or living in a dry environment. Dry eye sounds harmless, but it can cause inflammation, blurred vision, and damage to the eye surface that's sometimes difficult to reverse. The doctors at Ophthalmology Associates are expert in diagnosis and treatment of dry eye disease. 314-966-5000, yourEyeDoc.com.
Hi, this is Johnny Rabbit. Isn't cash in the bank better than scrap in the drawer? Midwest Money Company is buying your valuables. Midwest Money Company is buying gold, silver, coins, currency, diamonds, plus gold and silver jewelry. Call Midwest Money Company, 481-0770. That's 481-0770. Or stop by Midwest Money, 5900 Hampton for a free appraisal.
SNL Coin. We buy gold and silver coins, silver and gold jewelry. Also buying gold-filled and silver plates. Before you sell, call SNL. 314-544-3600. 314-544-3600. SNL Coin.
Retiring soon? Get the information you need by joining Kyle Jones and Matt Allgeier of Fire Capital Management for your retirement highway, Sunday mornings at 9:30. Investment advisory services made available through Pine Ridge Advisors, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Securities made available through AE Financial Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC.
KMOX, KECK, HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
The home of the Cardinals, KMOX. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Hey folks, this is Charlie Brennan. Have you noticed loose bricks or missing mortar around your house on the walls, patios, walkways, porch, or chimneys? If so, this might be a great time to call Morelli Tuck Pointing. What's tuck pointing? It's the removal of old mortar and the replacement of new mortar on a wall or chimney. Sometimes that mortar can become loose, missing, or deeply eroded. We've used the Morelli team to tuck point the Brennan home several times, and in fact, this winter, we noticed the bricks that line the ground near our porch in the backyard had gotten out of line and looked pretty cattywampus. One call, Morelli tuck pointing, the job was done. Morelli's the company that's won the Angie's List Super Service Award every year, back to back to back since 2005. Check out their reviews on the Google, Angie's List, and Better Business Bureau websites. The Masonry Specialists, 314-645-1387, MorelliTuckPointing.com.
Mid-America's most trusted source for news, KMOX.
At 11 o'clock, it's a cloudy sky, currently 74 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun. Our top story this hour.
CBS News special report. The Trump presidential campaign says it raised nearly $35 million since supporters learned of his felony conviction yesterday. Trump spoke a short time ago in New York.
It was a rigged trial. We wanted a venue change where we could have a fair trial. We didn't get it. We wanted a judge change. We wanted a judge that wasn't conflicted. And obviously he didn't do that. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. We had a DA who was a failed DA.
CBS's Katrina Kaufman says Trump, convicted on all 34 counts, faces sentencing just days before the start of the Republican National Convention in mid-July.
Some of the factors that can come into play are, do you have a prior criminal history? He doesn't, but there are things like remorse. Donald Trump has shown none of that. He continues to call this a rigged trial, a corrupt judge.
Trump's attorneys do plan an appeal. CBS News special report. I'm Steve Kathan.
U.S. Senator Josh Hawley of Missouri appeared on Fox this morning.
I mean, what Bragg tried to do here, bootstrapping some state court requirements, state law requirements, and then linking them to federal campaign election donation requirements and reporting requirements is absurd.
Illinois' Dick Durbin's response to the Trump trial is that the verdict serves as a reminder that the former president is unfit for public office. Although stats show violent crime is falling in St. Louis, many residents express they don't feel any safer.
So why is there a disconnect between what the numbers say and what people feel? St. Louis Circuit Attorney Gabe Gore says perception tends to lag behind reality.
That is just always the case. So you have to sustain results for a long time before people actually, you actually start to change perception.
Gore says people tend to look at high-profile events instead of overall numbers. He says this can drive the perception an area such as downtown is not safe. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
Tomorrow, you can make a day of it exploring new neighborhoods and supporting small businesses. It's the third annual STL Made Neighborhood Crawl.
Small businesses are the heartbeat of our community, right? But to keep those hearts beating, we have to support them. So this crawl is about getting people in new neighborhoods. We're showcasing 9 different neighborhoods across our region because, as we know, neighborhoods have culture and tradition and so much baked into them.
Keisha Mabry says look for the Love Local flag. This year's showcase neighborhoods are downtown, Cherokee, South Jefferson, Dutchtown, Central West End, Maplewood, Webster Groves, The Loop, Makers District, and Clayton. The KMOX Business Desk, a suitor for CBS.
Film and TV producer David Ellison has sweetened his bid for Paramount Global. Bloomberg has learned Ellison Skydance Media, one of Paramount's suitors, is reducing the the amount it's willing to pay controlling investor Shari Redstone and directing more money to the company's non-voting shareholders. Paramount, the parent of CBS, MTV, and other media businesses, has been evaluating its strategic options. Kimberly Adams, Bloomberg Radio.
The Dow from Stifel's up 17 points to 38,129. We've got debris on 55 going north at Imperial, Maine. That's got the right two lanes closed, including the center lane, 55 north at Imperial, Maine. We've got road work on 70 east at Route K. The left lane is closed there. Two-vehicle crash on 70 west at the airport. Left lane is blocked there.
Times of sun and clouds, breezy and warm this afternoon, high 84, then cloudy tonight and mild with a couple of showers and a thunderstorm, those 66. Variable cloudiness tomorrow and more humid with a couple of showers and a thunderstorm, mainly early, high 78. I'm AccuWeather's Joe Lundberg on the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Sponsored by Nicholas D'Alba Real Estate. Right now, clouds and 74 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Nick D'Alba with Nicholas D'Alba Real Estate. Are you selling your home? As a full-service broker with 35 years of real estate experience, we are positioned to beat the competition on price and service. Visit nickdalba.com to schedule a consultation so we can discuss why now is the best time to sell your home with Nicholas D'Alba Real Estate.
Where opinions collide, laughter resonates, and the unexpected is always invited. The Chris and Amy Show on KMOX.
You saw what happened to some of the witnesses that were on our side. They were literally crucified by this man.
Look, all politics aside, forget politics.
Yeah.
I love when people misuse literally.
Well,
It's one of my favorite things ever. I love it so much.
I do feel like saying that they were literally crucified.
It's
there would be some people in the Bible.
but Jesus is like, whoa, hold on a second.
Hold on.
This
Yeah.
is, I love it.
Jeez.
Like when people say, I heard this and I literally died.
Yeah.
I think that is so funny.
Yeah.
It's just so, it used to really irritate me,
Mhm.
but now I just think it's
On
hilarious.
on a much less significant day, we could definitely dedicate a good 15, 20 minutes to the conversation on how literally was meant as literally versus figuratively, but then literally
Yeah.
became figuratively.
Yes.
And now literally means figuratively. We could also have a conversation on the no problem versus my pleasure.
And by the way, I can't believe he said this about Matt Pajeski.
But you know, he's a sleazebag. Everybody knows that.
I can't
I know.
believe he
It
would
came
say
out
such
of
a
left
thing.
field. More out of left field than opening his speech with the border.
Producer Matt Pajeski. He really caught a bunch of strays today, and it
Yeah.
wasn't his fault.
Yeah. No, I mean, I wasn't expecting that.
So, former President Trump, about an hour ago at this point, began his remarks at Trump Tower in New York after being found guilty on the 34 felony counts yesterday. He announced early evening or late afternoon yesterday that he would be holding a press conference today. And I think my takeaway from it is it didn't seem like there was a plan there. What he was going to say, because the first thing he did, we joined him probably a few seconds into him speaking, just a few seconds, and he went straight for the border, which I thought was interesting.
Topic-wise, he didn't run.
He didn't run. He didn't run to Mexico. He wasn't trying to get away from the feds.
I literally
No.
pictured him running toward the border.
No, it wasn't. And he wasn't going to Taco Bell either. He might be now. Might be on the way to talk. But it was a strange thing, and I thought, did we miss something? Because I was watching it on the monitor, and he wasn't speaking yet. And then next thing you know, the first thing out of his mouth is talking about people coming from insane asylums into the country. And I thought we were talking about the case that just happened yesterday. So I'm not really sure what his intent was today and why there wasn't a better plan.
You are? It's Donald Trump. He is someone with a massive ego, but who is incredibly lazy. And so he loves the spotlight, but he does no preparation for it. That's it. I would have been shocked if he had a prepared statement. Everything is a rally for him. Everything is a rally for him. And this is what his rallies are.
I don't know, but this is in response to a monumental event. And I thought that he would have come out at least addressing it right off the top, even if he was saying, Michael Cohen's a piece of crap, which he called him a sleazebag later.
When you are a narcissist and I believe like a clinically diagnosable egomaniac narcissist. Things aren't a big deal in the same way. It's an alternate reality in the same way that they're a big deal here. For him, everything is, how does this affect me? How does it affect my campaign? How does it affect my image? And so he's not thinking, well, I got to be extra serious today. This is not different for him than anything else.
Do you know what, though? I will tell you that there were a couple of times, and it was by far not the norm, but when COVID first started, when it really happened and things were getting shut down, there was one press conference I recall. I don't remember details, but I remember, walking away from it thinking, oh, okay, well, or at least the beginning of
Because
it,
he stayed
thinking
on script.
he was he was taking it very seriously. And I thought, okay, maybe we're going to be all right here because he'll handle this. And then, of course, subsequent press conferences went off the rails. But there have been times. In fact, in 2016, when he was elected, that speech he gave on election night, I thought, okay, maybe he won't be crazy. Maybe it sounded to me like somebody who understood the weight of what had just happened, and he was going to actually behave as a president. So there have been moments in press conferences where he has done that. I thought today would have been that.
No, because I think those were speech writers. Occasionally, when he stayed on script, and you could always tell when he would riff or go off script, but occasionally when he stayed on script, because you have script writers, and perhaps he had a group. Some of the people surrounding him, the very best people, were actually decent people, and they were probably imploring him to stay on script, saying, for your brand, this is very big for your image. It's huge. It's the biggest. You need to stay on brand. You need to read this script. And he would do that occasionally, which I think because he had people surrounding him who could penetrate, at least for a split second, that narcissistic shell around him in which he operates. But now he doesn't have those people around him. He doesn't have a script writer. And it's been 8 years since 2016. Think of everything that's happened in 8 years. How much more psychotic he can become when you're living in that world thinking that you are the most persecuted, victimized person in the world.
What I think is the thing that alarms me about all of it is the amount of people who actually believe he is. Now, that's not to say there aren't some people who are out to get him. Some people hate him so much that they'll do anything to get him.
And I would say Alvin Bragg was one of those guys.
Well, I would say this
he
about
campaigned on, I'm going to get Trump.
I bet the city of New York for years has been trying to get him because they think he's a crook. And I bet this goes back decades. I don't think it's a presidential thing. I think it is as a business person, they would have loved to have convicted him for something over the last 25, 30 years. I would not doubt that that's true. What I don't believe, though, is that the entire governmental apparatus and the Department of Justice and the FBI, who, by the way, employ people who are Republicans and have voted Republican in their lives. I don't believe they're all out to get him.
No.
I just don't believe it. You can say it over and over and over and over again, and some people will start to believe you. And that's the part that alarms me, is the people who absolutely believe that everything that happens to him is not his fault, has nothing to do with any of his actions that he has taken and are consequences for those actions, but it is just everybody out to get him. That alarms me. And the other thing on top of it, we didn't get to it. Maybe we will. We should before the show's over. I don't think we have time now because we need to get to Scott. But things like what Tim Scott did, what he said yesterday.
What, putting doubt in the justice system, saying the
Yes.
whole justice system is fraudulent.
Tim Scott knows better.
Yeah.
Ted Cruz knows better. These are not stupid people. They know better. And that is all of that together. It's just a recipe for what I think is going to be a really tough time over the next several months and maybe year or so. And I hope we find our way out of it somehow, but I'm discouraged.
But let me say this. This everyone wants. They want angels and demons. They want heroes and villains. There's not a hero and villain in this particular story.
No.
What it is Trump super sleazy guy, shouldn't have cheated on his pregnant wife with a porn star and then paid money to hush her up. Yeah. If he had maybe, I don't know, been a better person, he wouldn't have been in this situation in the first place. It was a technicality, right? It's a technicality. As we said, it's one of the weaker cases, but it was brought. The justice system did its job. And guess what? He's not a political prisoner. I keep hearing him say, there was a campaign email that went out, political prisoner. He's not. You know why? You're
He's
not
not in
going to,
jail.
and he's not going
He's
to
not
go
going
to
to
jail
either, no.
because people don't go to jail for this type
No.
of thing. He's not going to go to jail. He knows it. So, hey, you're not a political prisoner. He did technically break the law. Well, guess what? So did Bill Clinton because he lied about an affair. He perjured himself. It wasn't that he had the affair. It wasn't
that he lied
Whitewater.
about
It was
it.
that he lied about it. It's a
Right, under oath.
technicality. He got impeached. So, yes, Donald Trump got caught in one of his lies and forgeries and whatever it may be. The justice system did its job, but he's not a political prisoner because he's not going to jail. He's not being silenced. It's, you got caught, bud.
Yeah, that's it. I don't know. And as far as the question of whether or not things like this should happen to a president or a former president, the answer is if they've committed crimes, yes. If a president, I don't care who they are, if it's Joe Biden, if it's Barack Obama, if it's Donald Trump, George Bush, I don't care who it is. If it's Jimmy Carter, right now and they found something still that's within the statute of limitations he deserves to be punished for, then punish the man. I don't care, but we should not hold that office to a standard above the law. And I can't believe anybody would agree that we should.
Final thought. The person who I believe has been treated more unfairly than Donald Trump is Martha Stewart. I want to go to bat for Martha Stewart. I think they went after her.
You should.
Donald Trump's fine.
She served her time, though.
Yeah. And Donald Trump's not even going to serve time. So, Martha Stewart, I like you.
That's Amy Markscores. I'm Chris Ranji. Scott Jagow coming up with 3 good things, and he's roaming St. Louis. He'll tell us about it all next.
Download the free Upside app and earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Download the free Upside app now and use promo code GIFT for an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first fill up. That's promo code GIFT.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Why should you hire the largest injury firm in the world for your injury case? Let me count the ways. Your case will be handled by your lawyer, a paralegal, and a case manager who's always in the office for you when your lawyer's in court. There's also a 24-hour hotline if you ever have a question or a problem. We've collected over $20 billion and won a lot. Injured? The choice is easy. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Lombardo Homes welcomes you to Saxony Ridge in Wentzville, a sprawling new home community located off Point Prairie Road, west of Highway Z. Saxony Ridge offers custom new construction homes on 3+ acre home sites in the Francis Howell School District. This private and tranquil community offers spacious home sites surrounded by an abundance of beautiful woodlands and open space. Saxony Ridge homeowners will enjoy the close proximity to New Melly, featuring local restaurants, grocers, and numerous recreational opportunities. For more information, visit lombardohomes.com.
If you had a crystal ball, you wouldn't agonize over when to sell your home. You'd just ask, should I sell while my home's value is sky high, or wait and hope the bottom doesn't drop out of the housing market? The thing is, I'm not ready to move. You don't need a crystal ball. With Truehold's Sell and Stay program, you can literally sell now and stay in your home as long as you like. When you sell your home to Truehold for its best current value, you can fully cash out your home's equity, and you can stay in your home as long as you want with an easy, affordable lease. Truehold pays property taxes, insurance, and maintenance too. Truehold unlocks your wealth without uprooting your life. Get an offer now while your home's value is sky high, and use the money to secure your retirement, pay off bills, or finance your dreams. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out your home's current best value without moving. That's Truehold.com. Truehold.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
If you've been injured in a car wreck, you need the best. Let us make your case our cause. Car accident? Call Onder Law for a free review at 314 or 618-9000000.
You know, I don't know what is going on here, but I was recently attacked servicing an air conditioner by 2 cicadas. definitely planned. It had to be planned. One flew right into my mouth, and when I spit that horrible thing out, one came crashing into the back of my head. But I'm just telling you, cicadas don't taste good. They're gross. Something has to be done. So everybody be careful out there with the cicadas. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Be careful with the cicadas. I know there was at least one planned attack on me by 2. But again, this is about air conditioning. So if you do need service on your air conditioner this summer, what works really good, I found, for me and my customers, is if you just saved this number, my name and the number in your phone. That is 314-293-2600. Or on the website, and you can see some videos, bartinman.com. That's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com.
The Angie's List you know and trust is now Angie, and we're so much more than just a list. We still connect you with top local pros and show you ratings and reviews, but now we also let you compare upfront prices on hundreds of projects and book a service instantly. We can even handle the rest of your project from start to finish. So remember, Angie's List is now Angie, and we're here to get your job done right. Get started at Angie.com. That's ANGI, or download the app today.
Here's Heather with the weather.
Well, it's beautiful out there, sunny and 75, almost a little chilly in the shade. Now, let's get a read on the inside of your car. It is hot. You've only been parked a short time and it's already 99 degrees in there. Let's not leave children in the back seat while running errands. It only takes a few minutes for their body temperatures to rise, and that could be fatal.
Cars get hot, fast, and can be deadly. Never leave a child in a car. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Navigating politics with a balanced perspective, fostering discussions, not arguments. The voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Chris Ranji, Amy Mark scores with you on a Friday, and that means we welcome in from the newsroom Scott Jagow, KMOX news anchor. He joins us in studio to talk about 3 good things in roaming St. Louis. Scott, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm good. I'd love to take a break from talking about Donald Trump.
Well, this is your opportunity.
10 minutes, just 10 minutes, please.
This is Amy. Actually, Amy's right. What do you think of Donald Trump? No, seriously, let's do the thing that we were talking about in the office earlier,
right,
which is very interesting to me.
Yeah. Okay. So let's start with that. So for Chat with Stu Mac this week, my weekly chat with Stuart McMillan, we have fun. We try to find interesting things to talk about. And this week we did origins of common phrases.
Oh.
So I'll give you one, for example.
Okay.
Guess where the phrase butter someone up comes from.
Butter somebody up.
To get in their favor.
It's when a little kid gets his head stuck in a railing and you put butter on their head to get them out.
Yeah, you think that's where it came from?
Yes.
No.
But it's got to do with bread.
No.
Okay.
It's actually a religious thing.
Oh.
In ancient India, they would throw butter balls at the deities, at the statues, they wanted them to be in their favor. So apparently they like butter, or they thought they liked butter, but that's what they would do. They would throw these butter balls. So they were literally buttering them up. Yes.
This is where sacred cow comes from, because the butter is coming from the cow.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I
Come
just
on, Ron, stay on point. Stay on topic.
Well, it
I
seems
just
related.
thought it was interesting. That's kind of a weird one.
That is really
never
interesting.
would have been a million
When
years.
did they stop buttering the gods?
I don't know. I just know it was a long time ago.
Okay.
And it's held on till today. I mean, that's pretty incredible.
That is amazing.
Okay, this is a good
I like
one.
it.
The whole 9 yards.
I know what that is.
Okay.
Wait, I don't. Let me guess.
Okay, go.
Because I always thought it was a football thing.
Exactly.
And that would not be a first down. Would it be?
No.
Well, it'd be
Because
like
you have
if it
to
was
do an
2nd and
extra.
1.
Right, it's
and-
10
yeah.
yards, but I was
Yeah.
like, the whole 9 yards. I thought it would be football, but
It does not come
So,
from football.
My understanding, tell me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
And I think there's disagreement on this, but in anti-aircraft guns, the bullets, the thread of bullets is 9 yards long.
Exactly. That's
so
it.
if you're,
Well, the whole point is, if you use up all your ammunition,
Mhm.
that means you went the whole 9 yards. You
Yeah.
did all you could do.
Yeah.
I mean, then you ran out of
I like it.
ammunition. Isn't that cool?
that's very cool.
I thought it was a football thing too.
I thought it was football, and then I thought it might have to do with fabric.
well, it's because there's a football movie called The Whole 9 Yards.
No, it's the longest yard.
Whoops.
I think they were both.
Was there a whole 9 yards movie?
Because that doesn't make
I thought
sense
so.
in
There might have
football.
been. I think there might have been. Okay, here's another one.
So long. I'm so dumb.
Giving a cold shoulder.
Oh,
Do you know this one?
cold shoulder. I think I thought that it meant you just like instead of saying hi, you walk by someone and you kind of like, you walk by and you shove them with your shoulder or move by, and that's a very cold action. So I thought it was that.
It's not that, but that's kind of what it is
Okay.
in physical terms. Like you're giving somebody
Yeah.
a cold shoulder, you're ignoring them. But this is not the origin of it is, I guess it was probably Middle Ages. Unwelcome guests in your home would get cold pieces of meat. And
Oh,
they
the
were
shoulder
shouldered.
meat.
And if you were unwelcome, they basically were saying, "Get the heck out of here.
Wow.
We don't want
That's
you
awesome.
here.
That's not
So
very
here
nice.
is a cold piece of meat."
That's not
Now,
nice.
if they wanted you to stay, they would give you a warm shoulder, a warm piece of meat. So that's literally where it comes from.
Now I get it.
awesome.
That's good. I
Yeah.
like that one.
That's a
You know
good
what?
one.
If I had a deli meat counter, I would call it the cold shoulder because it's like cold cuts. That's a great deli name.
Okay. It's actually not that bad.
Pretty good.
I like it.
The cold shoulder.
Yeah.
You
Give
want to
him
do
a
another
cold
one?
shoulder.
Yeah,
Yeah.
keep going.
Okay. How about bite the bullet?
That means
It's not literal.
It's literal.
Oh, it is.
Oh yeah. I mean, now it has become something. It's something difficult. You got to bite the bullet.
Means
I got
go
to get
ahead.
through it.
Yeah, I think it's because back in the old Annie Oakley days, they would do those things where they shoot at people and they would catch the bullet in their mouths.
No,
No, that's
come
not
on.
it.
Does it have something to do with like a musket? You know how they do the thing where they rip it with their
That's
teeth
what
and then they
Stu thought, but that's not it either. It does have again. A lot of these have to go back to war. It is when soldiers were in surgery and they didn't have any anesthesia.
Oh.
They'd be bite the bullet. So you just ignore.
thought it was
the
like a
pain.
stick.
It was a distraction.
I thought it was a
well, I
rag.
mean, I'm sure they use sticks, but they use bullets too.
Yeah.
So that's where it comes from.
And bite the bullet sounds way cooler than bite the stick.
Yeah.
Well,
Idiot. Time to bite the stick.
I said I was dumb. The whole 9 yards, by the way, is a movie with Bruce Willis.
That's what I thought.
Is it
I
a
thought
football
Bruce
movie?
Willis and Matthew Perry, and
No,
it has
that's what I
nothing
was
to do
exactly
with football.
thinking. Matthew Perry. I knew it had Matthew Perry in it. I tell people about horse racing terms.
Yeah.
Mhm.
There's so many terms in our lexicon that come from horse racing. A lot of political terms, for
Horse
example,
race.
dark horse, the
Oh.
horse race, running mate, front runner,
Mhm.
in and or out of the running. And then there are some that aren't as obvious, like across the board, which means to bet, win, place, and show. Hands down is a good one. Hands down, this is the best so-and-so I've ever. Hands down is a term from horse racing.
It is.
So if you had a big lead as a jockey, you drop the reins just a little bit and get your hands down. And then,
The
you
horse
have a
can just
nice
take
enough
off.
lead. Yeah, you can just finish off the race.
Oh, that makes sense.
Wow.
Give
Okay.
and take also. There was a give and take plate a few hundred years ago when horse
Really?
racing started. And that's where the term give and take comes from.
Did you look up why does bought the farm mean you died? If you like, oh man, he bought the farm.
That is, but I'll have to look that one up. I don't know where it comes from.
Yeah. Because I
Oh.
like that one.
I know you guys have to take a break, but that's Chat with Stu Mac.
Okay.
I also have three good things. I always have Hancock and Kelly and Tom Ackerman on sports. He'll probably be at the racetrack. And roaming St. Louis this week.
Mhm.
I went to Tim's Chrome Bar. And
Tim's
Bevo,
Chrome Bar is fun.
It is really
I
fun.
like it.
They do skating inside the bar.
It's not big
They-
enough for skating.
Yes, it is. They put everything to the side
What
and they
in
have
the
a whole,
world?
and they do dancing and they do bingo and they do adult Happy Meal. Adult Happy Meal.
Wait, what's a chrome
I
bar?
get
Is
it.
that a thing or just the
No,
name?
it's just the name of the bar. Tim's Chrome
Chrome
Bar. It's
Bar.
literally right across from the Bevo Mill.
That's awesome. This is
Das Bevo, whatever.
appointment radio. I mean, I listen every weekend. It's
Listen.
really, really good.
We
really good.
We love it, and we love when you come in and tell us about it. So this Sunday morning,
Yep.
Scott Jagow, Three Good Things, roaming St. Louis, chats with Stu.
Yep. 6:30 to 9:30.
It's Chris and Amy on KMOX.
Well, I brought up Rottler over the past couple of days. Again, super excited to work with Rottler now. You recognize Rottler name well from all the work they've done over the course of 3 generations, a 3rd generation partner, of course, also with Charlie Brennan. But I have had just incredible experiences with Rottler even before I started doing these lives for them. And I actually called them and said, I've been telling all my family and friends about Rottler. I would love to tell everyone in the KMOX listening audience about them, because when you are working with a pest solution company, you just want to rest assured they're going to do it right, that they're going to take care of the problem, and you're not going to get ripped off. And with Rottler, you can rest assured you are getting the very highest quality service and product. Whether you're working with ants, because you've got an ant problem, the number one most difficult pest to control, they take care of ants. They also take care of mosquitoes, which is awesome because not all pest control companies do. But they have the ability to locate and treat mosquito breeding sites with a product that's specially formulated to control mosquito larvae for weeks at a time. Try them before your next barbecue. See the difference for yourself. 877-ROTTLER or rottler.com.
Hi, I'm Mark Cuban, entrepreneur, businessman, and TV fan. People always come to me for investment advice. So here's a quick tip for you. Stop overpaying for cable and switch to Philo. What's Philo? It's the best way to watch more than 70 of your favorite channels and save big on your monthly bills. You can stream top channels like AMC, A&E, Discovery, Live, and On Demand. Philo's also got a library with thousands of hours of movies and shows just waiting for you. Plus, an unlimited DVR that lets you save all your favorites and rewatch them for up to 1 year. All of this for just $25 a month. You don't need me to tell you that this is a deal you need to make. Philo, now and forever.
Head on over to philo.tv. That's PHILO.tv. And start your 7-day free trial now.
We are heading into the make it or break it season for your air conditioning system. Comfort Solutions Heating and Cooling is a Lennox dealer, which is an outstanding brand. And Comfort Solutions has been in business for 30 years. And as I mentioned, a Lennox dealer. So they can install a brand new Lennox system with no interest for 5 years on that new Lennox air conditioner, plus a 10-year parts and condenser warranty. 24-hour service nights and weekends, 314-968-9900, 968-9900, or online at comfortsolutionsstl.com.
At 11:30, we've got clouds right now and 75 degrees downtown at the Arch.
CBS News special report. Former President Donald Trump spoke to reporters a day after his conviction and said his political support remains strong.
The support has been, that's why I mentioned the number of $39 million. That's why I mentioned we're up 6 points. And we went up a lot over the last month because everybody saw it was a rigged deal. It was a rigged trial.
CBS's Errol Barnett reports the verdict wasn't much of a surprise once the foreman said guilty on count one.
You really only needed to convince the jury of one simple narrative, that Donald Trump falsified the record and did so pursuing an election through unlawful means.
Trump will be sentenced in July. Defense attorney Caroline Polisi.
I don't see personally him being sentenced to prison time. The judge could impose a variety of different things. Home probation, for example. He could serve it in Mar-a-Lago with an ankle bracelet.
The sentencing will take place days before the Republican National Convention. CBS News special report. I'm Cammie McCormick.
Forecast for tonight, we've got cloudy, mild conditions, a couple of showers and a thunderstorm, and low 66 after a high today of 84. For tomorrow, some clouds. Could have a shower thunderstorm, especially early with a high temperature of 78. Sponsored by Sandberg Phoenix Law Firm. Right now, some clouds and 75 downtown. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
At Sandberg Phoenix, we're more than just a law firm. Our attorneys are committed to you, your business, and your community. We are ready to serve you in the areas of business litigation, intellectual property, health law, and products liability. SandbergPhoenix.com. The choice of lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising.
If you're thinking about selling your home, I'm sure there are two things that you want: certainty and the most money, right? This is Debbie Monterey, and if you've been listening to me for some time, you know that the agent I trust is Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, St. Louis's real estate expert. Here's why she should be your first call when looking for an agent. Gloria does not make empty promises. She provides written guarantees. What does that mean for you? Certainty. Certainty isn't the only thing you want. You also want the most money. Gloria is able to get her home sellers more money than the average agent because she already has the buyers. This is why Gloria will guarantee to sell your home at your agreed upon price, or she will buy it. To get your guaranteed price, call St. Louis's real estate expert Gloria Liu at 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888, or visit gloriahasthebuyers.com. Conditions apply. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date. gloriahasthebuyers.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Hi, this is Kent Newbold at Newbold Toyota and Newbold BMW. I am so confident that my team will take care of every one of your service and sales needs. I'll give you my cell phone, 618-791-5470. Newbold Toyota or newboldtoyota.com. You'll be sold on Newbold.
1 in 4 people surveyed by Bankrate.com say they're literally losing sleep because of worries that they may have not saved enough to retire. If you're ready to get serious about planning for your financial future, you could start by listening to the All Financial Hour with host Steve All of the All Financial Group.
What are your wishes, hopes, and dreams? What's retirement look like for you? Because everybody, that picture is different. We're not here to sell you anything. If you want assistance, we can also help you at that point.
Tune in Saturday mornings at 10 right here on KMOX.
The KMOX studios powered by Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com.
That's GetJim.com.
Hi, I'm Paul Goldschmidt.
I'm Cardinals outfielder Lars Nootbaar.
I'm Woodson Contreras.
Now, Chris and Amy give you the birds.
I'm Adam Wainwright, and you're listening to the voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Bottom of the ninth, the pitch, a swing and a ground ball right to win. He steps on second for a Redbird winner. Friedel is out, 6 unassisted, coming down to second base, and this ball game has come to an end. The Cardinals beat the Reds 5-3 and won 2 out of 3 in Cincinnati.
The birds are rolling, baby. They are
12 of 15?
I think it's like 13 of 15. Whatever. They're killing it right now. They have played themselves back to 500, which is very good news. You got to get to 500. You go from there, see what happens, right? That's how a baseball season goes. To talk about the Cardinals on the Quiver River Electric guest line, as they will be beginning a series against the Phillies in Philadelphia tonight. We've got the pregame show at 4:45. 5:40 is the first pitch. Miles Michaelis and Aaron Nola is the matchup. We've got Claibs. Mike Claiborne, part of the broadcast, is with us now on KMOX. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning. It's a good day to be a Cardinal fan.
Claibs, it is, because the Cardinals are at 500, and we're not even close to Flag Day yet.
No, we have about, 15 days before we get there, and we're moving in the right direction. Let's just put it that way. And obviously there's a lot more work to be done, but you have to like their direction right now. Things are starting to line up, and you just have to stay healthy and just keep doing what we're doing.
Yeah, I want to get to some news that we've gotten in the last half hour regarding the Cardinals before we get to the actual series tonight. But Jose Fermin is back. He was recalled from Memphis. Lars Nootbaar is on the 10-day DL, which is retroactive to yesterday. And also Giovanni Gallegos is going to begin a rehab assignment in Memphis tonight. So these are the injury news and notes. How much does that affect what has been happening and what's going to happen in the next several days?
Well, obviously, losing a guy in Nootbaar who had become a regular, obviously that's a little bit of a sting. Fermin, who has been playing more in the outfield when he was in Memphis, is going to get another look. And, he's another right-handed bat. We don't have a lot of them right now. So, we'll see where that goes. I think it's also an indicator that maybe Jordan Walker isn't ready. because him being an outfielder, you would think he would be a call-up. But to my last check, he's not hit a home run in Memphis. So I'm not sure how that is progressing. But Vermin will probably come off the bench a little bit more, which means Dylan Carlson will probably play on a more regular basis. Giovanni Gallegos, man, you know what? We need him to be effective. He really kind of fell off the table a little bit, maybe been overused a little bit. But when he's right, you throw him in that bullpen with Jojo Romero and Kittredge and Ryan Helsley, you have a really good back end of your bullpen, which shortens the game even more for the opposition.
All right, let's talk about what's been going really well for this team in the last couple of weeks. As we said, and as Amy mentioned, back to 500. They are right now in the division. They played themselves into second place. They are a half game in front of the Cubs. They're 5 games behind the Brewers. So going from last place, which was just not that long ago, to being back up in second. And I know we're only a couple of months into the season, but they've made a little bit of headway here.
No, they have. And they're doing it, incrementally. You're not going to win the pennant in May, but it helps. The games you win in May are the ones you don't worry about in September. So they're making some strides. They're building momentum. And, it leads up to my day, that be a flag day, to really assess your team and say, all right, what else do we need? Do we need another starter? Do we need somebody in the bullpen? Do we need a bat off the bench? And now you kind of have a feel for who your team is, and you can address those concerns. But you know what? They're moving in a good direction. Now, I'm going to warn everybody, they're not going to go undefeated for the rest of the season. All right? They're going to have another bump in the road somewhere, somehow. Maybe it's an injury. Maybe they go into a slump. But they now know they can compete. And I think once you know that and you have the record to prove it, I just think it really gives you a more positive cause to continue to grind and do the things you can do because you've been able to prove it already.
Claib's looking at the Brewers 5 games up on the Cardinals in the Central. Do you think they are playing at their ability, above or below? Is there a chance they could slide?
Milwaukee?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Milwaukee's playing to their ability because they don't have a lot of their good players.
Okay.
Devin Williams is their back-end guy in their bullpen who's lights out. They've had some other guys who've had some injuries. Milwaukee is a surprise team. I didn't think they would be this good because if you look at their roster, you're like, okay, we know about this guy, that guy. Maybe it's a handful of guys, and the rest of them are kind of like smoke and mirrors right now. But having said that, they're competing. The one thing I'm feeling good about is in the past, when Milwaukee's had a lead on the Cardinals have been able to track them down. And I don't see why they can't do it again this year. When you look at the lineups, you say, well, the Cardinals are better at this position, and this position. And eventually that's going to rise up. So I think, Milwaukee is very catchable. And I don't care about catching them today. I care about catching them as we go into September.
Mike Claiborne is with us on the Quiver River Electric guest line. Mason Wynn, he is on an 18-game hitting streak. We know that hitting streaks are of that sort of length are not really common in baseball any longer. It does happen, but what has he been doing right? How is he getting the results right now?
Good question. And really what he's done, he's made 2 adjustments. Early in the year and even last year, his batting stance was really wide. I mean, if you watch his stance now, his feet are closer together. He's deeper in the batter's box, and he's able to track that pitching, that low ball, that slider away. Instead of trying to pull that pitch, he's going the other way with it. And hence, he's got a lot of hits in the right field and right center field. I think those are the 2 things he's done and he's been consistent with because that's what got him exposed or got attention to him when he was in the minors. And I was one of the few people who thought he was going to hit because I'm sure we've talked about it because the concern was in the offseason, well, what happens if Mason Wynn doesn't hit? Tommy's going to have to play, Tommy Edman. But we haven't seen Tommy Edman yet. And I don't think we should worry about the shortstop position, let alone the person who's hitting in that position. So it's been a good adjustment. I think Mason Wynn's going to be one of the faces of the future of this team, on and off the field. He's got really good leadership qualities you can see already. He's a very hard worker, and he's a very supportive teammate. And I couldn't be happier for him because I think this young man's got a real future in front of him.
Offensively, over, the last couple of weeks here, there have been some guys who have really been performing well, Claves. We mentioned Wynn, obviously. Nolan Gorman has been hitting. I mean, that guy's really pounding the baseball. Over the last 2 weeks, he got 5 home runs. It's just, and you've seen a little bit from Paul Goldschmidt, a lot of improvement there. As you look at the offense and what they have been doing, are you encouraged by it? And I guess, to take that a step further, do you think Nolan Arenado is going to join that offensive output sometime soon?
Yeah, I do. I'm encouraged by the offense and the order. I think as the weather warms up, so will this team. And one of the things about Paul Goldschmidt, he struggled late last year going into spring training this year and certainly since the start of the season. But if you look at his numbers in the past, he's always been a warm weather hitter. When May and June roll around, that's when he does his most damage, and then it just continues. And I think we're going to see the same thing this year. And I think good hitting is also contagious. Nolan Arenado just didn't get bad overnight. I think he'll turn it around as well. And it's great to see the bottom end of the batting order carrying some of these guys for a stretch because a lot of teams aren't as deep as the Cardinals are when it comes from 1 to 9. And so I think when you look at those two veterans, they'll turn it around. And once they contribute, they'll be able to pick up some other guys who might be struggling a little bit.
What do you suppose? And tonight's starter is Miles Michaelis, 5.64 ERA. What are you seeing from him?
I think here's a guy who's a renowned strike thrower. He's always in the strike zone. I think one of the things that he's gotten away from is pitching inside a little bit more, where he can use his slider away. I think that because he's in the strike zone so much, guys are sitting on the first pitch, knowing it's going to probably be a strike that they can handle. So I think he's going to have to try and change up his approach with regard to attacking hitters. You're going to need Miles Michaelis. I mean, he's a good pitcher, but I think if he learns how to change up his sequence a little bit more, I think he'll be more effective. And this is a good hitting team in Philadelphia that he's going to have to deal with. He's got to stay low in the strike zone and then keep those guys off balance as far as the left-handed hitters are concerned.
Andre Palante pitched pretty well when they brought him in to get that start the other day. Do you think he sticks in the rotation for a while?
You know what? I think they're going to give him another look or two. But here's what I would do. I would say to Palante and Matthew Liberatore, all right, boys, this is your game. We're not going to the bullpen. Palante, you got the first 4. Libby, you have the back end, or you have the first 5, and Libby, you have the back end. I think that 1-2 combination is going to be effective. And that way you don't burn up your bullpen. And if they lose it, they lose it. But I'm not going to expend a lot of energy as far as my bullpen is concerned on one guy having to start and then have 4 or 5 other guys have to back him up in the bullpen. So I'm going to go with these 2 guys. Rest of you guys take the night off because I want to have a fresh bullpen for the rest of the starts of the week.
All right, it's going to get tough tonight. Philadelphia Phillies, they are a very good baseball team, arguably the best in the game at the moment. Cardinals will play them. 5:40 is the first pitch, a 4:45 pregame show tonight. Mike Claiborne will be on the broadcast. It's good to talk to you, Claire.
No,
you're not there, are you?
No,
Matt
I am.
Pauley.
Matt Pauley is there.
Matt
That's
Pauley.
right.
Yeah, because I'm getting inducted in the Missouri Broadcasters Hall of Fame. And Ricky Horton is back dealing with the Whitey Herzog Memorial. I think Ricky's speaking at that. So Matt Pauley is going to get the call, and he's going to do a super job. I'm looking forward to having a chance to listen to him.
Outstanding.
He's going to knock it out of the park.
Claves,
awesome.
we'll see you back in St. Louis, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right, gang. Have a great weekend.
Again, Cardinals tonight. Matt Pauley, he does have the call. He also has the pregame show. 4:45, the broadcast gets started. You can listen to it if you're in the St. Louis listening area. It's on the Odyssey app. Put it on your phone, download it, and you can listen in crystal clear. Just sounds great. Odyssey, AUDACY. It's Amy Marks Coors. It's Chris Ranji. It's KMOX.
For all station contest rules, go to KMOX.com/rules.
The French Heritage Festival is coming June 8th and 9th to historic downtown St. Genevieve, celebrating French culture and traditions. Fun for the whole family with live music, festival food, shopping, kids activities, the Artisans Fair, and so much more on Saturday, followed by a French Creole driving tour, nature walk at the refuge, wineries, historic site tours, museums, and art on Sunday. Plan your trip to the French Heritage Festival. Go to visit STEGEN.com for more information. Produced in cooperation with Visit Missouri.
SNL Coin. We buy gold and silver coins, silver and gold jewelry. Also buying gold-filled and silver plates. Before you sell, call SNL. 314-544-3600. 314-544-3600. SNL Coin.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Grainger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If you want jazz music, go to New Orleans. Bagels, New York. And for psychics, think California Psychics. You want the best, you go to the best. At California Psychics, home of free spirits and open minds, we know better than anyone what makes a good psychic. That's why we guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com and experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
You can host the best backyard barbecue. You find a professional on Angie to make your backyard the best around. Connect with skilled professionals to get all your home projects done well. Inside to outside, repairs to renovations. Get started on the Angie app or visit Angie.com today. You can do this when you Angie that.
We have over $34 trillion in national debt. Where do you think the money to pay for that is going to come from? Taxes. Believe it or not, taxes are at historic lows right now, but how much longer will that last? A Roth IRA conversion might be a good option when planning for your retirement because you can pay lower taxes now and avoid potentially higher taxes later. The FIRA Capital Management Team, formerly Heisey Advisory Group, have seen taxes rise and fall. They know what options you have to potentially reduce the amount of taxes you pay in retirement. Call the team at FIRA Capital Management and schedule your tax analysis today. 314-328-4400. Uncle Sam needs money. Don't let him take it all from you. 314-328-4400. Investing involves risk. Always consult with a qualified tax advisor before making any decisions regarding a Roth conversion, as there may be additional tax considerations. Investment advisory services made available through Pine Ridge Advisors, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Securities made available through AE Financial Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC.
We all have someone we love, like the favorite lyric in our favorite song. You can't imagine life without them. So tell them today, I love you. Get screened. It could help save their life. Visit cancer.org/getscreened to learn more.
Saturdays are made for soccer. Presented by Michelob Ultra. Superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. Catch St. Louis City Soccer anywhere you go on the Odyssey app. Or grab your friends and catch the game at any City on Tap location, bringing City SC fans and beer together.
Hi, my name is Bradley Parnell from St. Louis City. Saturdays are made for soccer.
Brought to you by Together Credit Union, the exclusive banking partner of City SC.
Hey guys, it's not too late for a deep spring cleaning on your home. Give my friends at Zero Res a call, 314-474-2020. Schedule today and get 3 rooms of carpet clean for just $129 and take $50 off your air duct cleaning. Make sure you mention the DGS when you go to ZeroResSTL.com. Hey guys, Glover here for my friends Mark and Neil Gelman from the GelmanTeam.com. If you want immediate cash for your home or to see what your home is actually worth in today's market, find out for free from the local experts. That's my friends Mark and Neil Gelman at the GelmanTeam.com.
Chris Ranji, Amy Mark scores because life is too short for boring radio. Let the excitement begin.
Chris Ranji, Amy Mark scores with you. Ranj, you're a tennis guy. I'm a tennis fan.
Yeah.
We both played. We love watching tennis. The French Open is happening now.
I don't love it like I used to, but I was really into it for a while.
Like the Pete Sampras days?
Pete Sampras,
Mhm.
Agassi, Jim Courier, those people.
Well, yeah, I don't watch it as much as I used to because it's like a time thing. But when I was a teenager, I loved, you're out of school, it's summer, Wimbledon's on, the French Open's going on now. So we had the news that the king of the French Open, Rafa Nadal, was knocked out in the first round. More bad news. The French Open has banned fans from drinking alcohol in the stands because they've been too unruly.
What do you mean? Let people have a good time.
Well, I guess Belgium's David Goffin, he was playing against a French player, and someone spat gum at him.
Well,
I know.
That person was just high.
That person had an issue. On Wednesday, the women's defending champion had to plead with fans. She turned around, stopped playing, and pled with fans to keep quiet during points and to not shout out. She said, first of all, we are happy. People are very enthusiastic about watching tennis and being part of the matches, showing feeling and emotions, but there are definitely steps which shouldn't go further. A few things have needed to be put in place. And so now, up until now, alcohol has been allowed in the stands, but it's over. You can't have alcohol in the stands.
Maybe it's because I never played golf. I've played a handful of times, but I've never played it really, truly competitively. I did play tennis competitively for a little bit, but not in front of crowds or anything. I guess I don't quite understand the idea of having to have complete silence to perform that job. And maybe I just don't get it. I might not get it, but I feel like if people are cheering, that's almost like background white noise,
Cheering's
right?
okay. I think they were yelling out things in the middle of points. We always have the but then they have the people yelling phrases right when they're hitting.
But athletes who are focused will say that they don't hear the crowd a lot.
They would like to differ.
Okay.
Okay, moving from one sport.
Baseball players say it all the time. Like, I didn't even hear
yeah.
what was going on in the crowd.
Unless there was one pitcher. He pitched for the Cubs. I don't think you like him, but he told a really good story about pitching for the Marlins, and there was no one in the stands, and somebody yelled from the stands, "Throw the changeup!" And he could hear it.
Well, maybe that's different when you hear individuals.
He
Okay.
threw the changeup. Okay, quickly, I was at the Festival of Miles last night at St. Louis University High School. It's put on by Hoka, and it is a national event where they have all of these mile races for grade school and high school. Something incredible happened twice last night. The high school girls record, the national high school girls record in the mile was set. Just breaking news right now in the track world across the country, right? Set a high school girl ran 4:30 for the mile. Allie Zealand ran 4:30 for the mile. FYI, she's a homeschooler. Ran 4:30 for the mile. Fastest high school girl ever. 10 minutes later in the pro race, Sadie Englehart is a high schooler who ran in the pro race. She ran 4:28 for the mile. So Allie Zealand broke Sadie Englehart's first record, and then Sadie Englehart 10 minutes later broke Allie Zealand. So we had the two fastest female high school milers in the country ever at SLU High School. Quick note, Allie Zealand ran in the high school girls only race, so she really ran alone the whole time. She was out in front. And then Sadie Englehart, when she broke it, she was in the pro race, so she did have someone running with her. So I think there might be an asterisk for high school race only versus high schooler period. Congratulations to both.
Very nice. James Taylor tickets we've got to give away next week. We just want you to be aware of that, so you want to listen to the show all next week. He's playing next week here in St. Louis at Hollywood Casino Amphitheater. But when we come back, we are going to talk to five-time Pro Bowler and St. Louis area native from Cahokia, Illinois, Teron Armstead of the Miami Dolphins will be joining us in studio next on KMOX.
Hey guys, Glover here from my friends at ThrottleNet. So I'm so very proud to have represented the guys at ThrottleNet for all of these years. They are the IT geniuses. George and Mike are the owners. Fantastic guys. They can do all of your IT. They can do a portion of your IT. They have the best Apple support team. Their response time is under 2 minutes. Think about that, under 2 minutes. Something goes sideways with your IT, and they are solving your problem. And they're solving your problem within 2 minutes. Now, let's talk about cybersecurity. Most companies in St. Louis don't have cyber liability insurance. You get hit, you're on the hook, you're probably out of business. With ThrottleNet, if we represent you, we protect you. The first $500,000 that someone hits you for, which isn't going to happen, but if it does, we pay it. $500,000. That's what you're covered for with ThrottleNet. Go to throttlenet.com/DGS for all the information.
Paid for by government.com.
Have you heard? A recent stash of 1881 Morgan silver dollar coins has been found. These gorgeous 1881S silver dollar coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck. Only a limited quantity of these Morgan silver dollar coins are available. Coin experts are calling this an amazing opportunity for anyone interested in silver coins. Just call government at 1-800-473-0982 and you are guaranteed a mint condition 1881S Morgan silver dollar featuring the iconic S mint mark of the San Francisco Mint. But with limited quantity, you must call now. These 1881S silver coins are still in uncirculated condition. That is 140 years of history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-473-0982. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $25 value free with every order. Call 1-800-473-0982 now to secure your 1881S Morgan silver dollars before they sell out. That's 1-800-473-0982.
KMOX, KECK HD2, K254CR St. Louis.
The legendary voice of St. Louis, KMOX. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
RGA Enterprise Services Company in St. Louis, Missouri seeks to hire a lead database engineer to lead and support the global design, implementation, maintenance of high availability infrastructure for large-scale database platforms to ensure reliability of business-critical applications. May work remote, must possess bachelor's degree in computer science, management information systems, or closely related field. The position requires 60 months experience supporting Oracle and other database hosting systems and services utilizing high availability performance reliability, advanced experience in ability to automate and maintain automation for core job functions to increase effectiveness. Database platform administration tasks, including installation, patching, clustering, log shipping, performance tuning, scripting fundamentals such as Shell, SQL, PL/SQL, PowerShell, and at least one enterprise operating system. Qualified applicants can mail their resume to RGA. Attention Human Resources, Mobility Specialist, 16600 Swingley Ridge Road, St. Louis, Missouri, 63017.
Mid-America's most trusted source for news. KMOX.
At 12 noon, the news is sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. It's a cloudy sky, 76 degrees downtown at the Arch. Our top story this hour.
CBS News special report. Donald Trump unleashes criticism the day after his felony conviction in New York.
This is a scam. This is a rigged trial. It shouldn't have been in that venue. We shouldn't have had that judge.
He called the judge, Juan Merchan, a tyrant and a devil. He also attacked President Biden and illegal immigrants. Since the conviction, his campaign reports a surge in donations.
A record $39 million in about a 10-hour period. No, think of that.
Meantime, Trump's lawyers are mounting an appeal of the verdict, guilty on all 34 counts. CBS's Michael George tells us.
Sentencing is set for July 11th, just days before the Republican National Convention. An early voter reaction appears split along party lines.
I don't think he got a fair trial.
I don't think it changed how I would vote in November.
CBS News special report. I'm Steve Kathan.
Despite statistics showing crime is falling in the city of St. Louis, residents are skeptical. St. Louis Circuit Attorney Gabe Gore affirms that crime is falling, citing homicides and other violent crime stats. He says in his office's view, downtown is safe.
The attorneys in my office, the support staff in my office, we're downtown every day, and we don't feel unsafe. we, in our mind, downtown is a safe place to be.
Circuit Attorney Gore says sometimes people's perceptions can lag behind the reality of a situation, and it'll take time with a continued drop in crime to convince people. A hacking group claims that it has the personal information of about 560 million Ticketmaster and Live Nation customers. CBS's Jolene Kent on steps to take if you think you are part of a data breach.
Change your usernames and passwords, get a password manager, do all of that work. Second, you want to monitor your bank accounts and credit cards for any suspicious activity that you may see. Take a good look at it. And third, call your credit card company to initiate a fraud alert and ask if you should be freezing your credit and freezing your card. And what this essentially does is makes it harder for someone to create new accounts under your name by blocking creditors from seeing your credit report.
Saturday is an opportunity to explore new neighborhoods from downtown St. Louis to Clayton and Webster Groves and support local businesses. It's the third annual STL Made Neighborhood Crawl.
We really recommend that people get into the neighborhoods that they really haven't explored. Yes, hit all 9 if you can, but if you can't, choose 3 to 5 and just explore, starting with your Love Local stop.
Event coordinator Keisha Mabry. The KMOX Business Desk, where do prices stand?
We haven't seen this too often lately. An economic report filled with data points favorable for the Fed to lower interest rates. The Commerce Department's monthly Core Price Index, which is the most influential over Fed policy, shows the smallest inflation advance so far this year, 0.2% from March to April, and 2.8% from April last year. The report also shows inflation-adjusted consumer spending unexpectedly slipped 0.1%, and wage growth moderated. Andrew O'Day, Bloomberg Radio.
The Dow from Stifel's up 135 points to 38,246. The Cardinals line up dealt a massive blow with Lars Nootbaar being placed on the 10-day IL with an oblique strain. The Cardinals are headed to Philadelphia for the game tonight. We've got road work on 370 going west at 270. The right lane is closed. Also a stall 6440 going east at Spady in the right lane, and some debris on 364 going west at Arena Parkway. That's got the right lane closed.
Partial sunshine, breezy and warm this afternoon, high 84. Cloudy and mild tonight with some showers and a thunderstorm, low 66. Tomorrow, variable cloudiness, not as warm, but more humid. Look for a couple of showers and a thunderstorm, mainly in the morning, a high 78. I'm AccuWeather's Joe Lundberg on the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Sponsored by Saks Financial. Right now, some clouds, 76 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
A goal without a plan is just a wish. To get started on your retirement income plan, call Saks Financial today and live your best life now and in retirement. Saks Financial, the home of the retirement compensation plan at retiresafestl.com.
Transforming airwaves into an engaging playground of ideas and entertainment. It's the Chris and Amy Show on KMOX.
Hey, and having Teron Armstead at left tackle makes a difference.
Hutchinson going against Teron Armstead. That's a tough matchup for the rookie.
Nice block by Teron Armstead. Open up that hole.
Teron Armstead is with us in studio, a graduate of Cahokia High School. Was it 2009?
2009.
2009 graduate of Cahokia.
A few years ago.
In just a few. In Illinois, has played with the Miami Dolphins, or it plays with the Miami Dolphins now, has played with the New Orleans Saints, 5-time Pro Bowler, and is in town for a series of events, which we're going to talk about in a moment. But Teron Armstead, it's good to have you.
I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Are you still was it 6'5", 300?
Yeah, that's me. My measurables.
I'm telling you, man. NFL players are literally built different.
Okay. Now, we had this conversation today with some of my running buddies who are not athletes. I mean, runners are runners.
They're your size.
Well, and distance runners are even different than sprinters. Sprinters are athletes. But with football players, it's the size, but then the speed and agility with the size that makes no sense to me. It's like otherworldly, superhuman. And there's enough of them to make a league. It's like these superhumans formed a league.
No, the craziest part is I feel like they're evolving even more. It's the amount of size, speed, agility, explosiveness, suddenness from these guys, especially defensive linemen. These are the freaks of the world.
How many marathon runners do you think it would take to get to the quarterback if you're guarding? It'd take like 10, right?
No, they would never make it.
Yeah, I don't see a way that they would.
Probably not.
Yeah.
So it's awesome to have you in town. You're almost exactly 2 months away from training camp, aren't you?
Yeah, it's getting close. Getting close to my 12th NFL season.
So, with the Miami Dolphins, that's a really fun team that from, people from the outside who don't really follow the Dolphins or are fans of other teams, we still keep an eye on what's going on there because that's a really fun thing you have going.
Yeah, we have a lot of energy down there, a lot of personalities, a lot of great players for sure, and we keep adding. Now we need to start racking in some huge wins and get some titles, division win, and further.
You probably get asked a lot. What is it like to play for Mike McDaniel?
I do get asked that a lot.
Yeah,
Mike is he's such an interesting personality, but he's great. He's great. He's genuine. The way that you guys see him in the media is how he is all the time, in the building, out of the building, which is the best part about him. He's intelligent for sure. Sometimes it's hard for him to portray, get his words out. He's a lot of ums and uhs, but he's a very smart man and he's funny. That's my guy.
Well, every team is different. Team culture, every city is different. What has been maybe some of the biggest differences between playing with the Saints and then playing for the Dolphins?
A lot of similarities, but some differences for sure. My team in New Orleans was a more veteran-built team. It was a lot more older players, a lot more like family guys, kids, all those good things. And when I got to Miami, it was a much younger team, much younger group. Pretty much nobody on the team had kids, or not many. I was the only person 30 when I signed.
Wow.
Yeah, and it just was, that dynamic was completely different. Now, fast forward to my third year in Miami, we have a much more veteran team, much more experienced. Even those young guys that were two years ago, you grow up fast in the league, and they got, Tua got 2 kids now when he had none when I first got there, so a lot of life has happened over these last 3 years.
Going back to growing up quickly, we were actually talking about that. You see 17-year-old, 18-year-olds, college kids, they seem like kids, but then you see athletes and professional athletes. Does the game, and then especially once you go pro, does it force you to grow up quickly in some ways?
Absolutely. That word professional that's the key. Yeah. That's the key. You have to be a professional, every sense of the word, the way you carry yourself, the way you go about your business. It's a commitment to it, and you have to mature and grow up in order to truly be a professional.
I'm always fascinated, Teron, with the relationship between a quarterback and the offensive line. It's very close. You have to be, because you're trying to keep that guy from getting killed. What is that relationship like with Tua Tagovailoa?
It's been great. That's my little brother. He's he drew to me really, really quickly when I got there. Picked my brain, asked questions. I connected him with Breeze. He's a huge fan of Drew, which we all are. He's been great. His energy, his mindset, his willingness to work, his desire to be great is just all arrows pointing up for that young man. And he's 25, 26 now, and just led the league in passing. He has a lot more accolades to grab, and hopefully, Super Bowl winning quarterback.
As I mentioned, you are in town because you have a number of events that are happening here, starting tonight with a celebrity basketball game that will be happening. Tell us about it. Is all this with the Teron Armstead Foundation?
All of this is with the Teron Armstead Foundation, partnering with the city of Cahokia Heights and the school board, Cahokia Heights School District. We have a celebrity basketball game tonight. We have some very, very talented individuals coming, a long list of celebrities. We have Tyreek Hill, Hansel Emmanuel, Cesar Ruiz, Justin Ellis, Laramie Tunzel.
Oh, nice.
We have influencers, entertainers. We have you two coming, right? Right?
Well,
now on the spot.
I'm leaving town right after the show.
I am. I'm so bummed. I'm also leaving town. I'm going to Kansas City.
I need to see flight itineraries.
And this
I'm
is,
driving.
Me
okay.
too. I can
I'm
give you my
driving.
gas bill.
Yeah.
No.
I feel awful. I mean, this looks like so much
No,
fun.
all good. It's going to be a great time.
Oh my gosh.
It's going to be a great time for sure.
So this is happening
I
at
feel
the
terrible.
at Cahokia High School tonight.
Cahokia High School tonight.
Buying tickets, or is it free?
It's free. It's free, completely free for everyone. We encourage people to get there early. It starts at 7 p.m., but encourage people to get there maybe 6.
Yeah.
Also been flirting with the idea of a 3-point shootout and dunk contest. We have Michaela Bridge, who's East St. Louis High School graduate that plays at Kansas State right now. He's a high flyer. He plays above the rim. But Emmanuel, he's also a viral dunker. And everything that he's been able to do with only having one arm, he's been a phenomenon. So we might have a dunk contest between them two that would be like
Oh my gosh.
out of this world. Yeah.
That's so awesome. Oh, how many years have you done this?
This is just the second.
Second year. Okay.
So and then tomorrow, you've got the youth football camp.
Tomorrow, youth football camp at Cahokia High School starting at 9 a.m. We have ages 5 to 15. And all those players I named, we have, it's an extravaganza. Like the foundation, we use the camp as like our Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
So we have bounce houses and game trucks, face paint. We'll have 10 barbers. We'll have cheerleaders. We'll have everything. It's just a very big community today, not just football.
That's awesome, man. And so the Teron Armstead Foundation. I know. First of all, you also have an outing at the NASCAR event on Sunday.
Sunday, busy weekend.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Collaborating with NASCAR, they're taking 25 of the youth from my foundation over to give them an experience. Get to meet a couple of the drivers. We get to see T-Pain perform,
That's awesome.
and
Yeah,
then
that's right.
we get to hang and watch the NASCAR event. So a full
Yeah.
compact weekend, but it's gonna be great.
Tell people about the foundation if they don't know about it.
Yeah. Teron Armstead Foundation, we've been in existence for 10 years now. Our goal is to educate, introduce, and expose all the youth or everyone we come across with more industries, opportunities, walks of life that we've never been introduced to before. So I've done a ton of work here in these neighboring communities, but also in New Orleans and Miami. But the goal is education.
How often do you get to come back to the area?
I come back maybe 3 times a year, not a week.
Well, that's a lot.
That's pretty. That's
Yeah,
more than
Especially
this
during
guy.
the season, right?
Yeah,
Are
that's
you,
tough.
and do you
Yeah.
still have family in Cahokia?
Whole
Heights?
family,
Really?
is
Yeah.
across the bridge. Yeah.
When you and I could talk to you all day, but when you were growing up there in Cahokia playing high school football, was it something you knew? Like you knew I'm gonna make it?
Absolutely not.
Oh, really?
Really?
No. We never seen it before over there. So we were really good, extremely talented, grossly talented. Like I wish we had more eyes and exposure for more guys to go to college from where I'm from. Then I wouldn't have been the first NFL player. Like it wouldn't have been close. We were good, but we didn't know what we didn't know. So clearinghouse, NCAA process, had no idea. And I only was able to get to college because I didn't do that, clearinghouse, all those things. I was a late qualifier because I just didn't know. So once I found out, I was a state champion in track. And the colleges really kept coming after me, and I was able to sign a football and track scholarship to Pine Bluff because I didn't have a full ride anywhere. So went to University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff for that as a defensive lineman and as a shot putter, and transferred over to offensive line my freshman year, and just became who I became.
Wow.
So no, it wasn't a clear picture.
When did you know, though? Like, when did you really, really know that that professional football was going to happen for you?
In all honesty,
the draft? It wasn't the draft, was it? I mean,
yeah,
you knew
I mean,
before that.
a little
didn't
bit,
you?
a little bit before the draft. You know, and I excelled early in college. I was a starter my freshman year. Second year, got all conference. Third, my junior year, maybe all American type of recognition. But like I said, we haven't really seen it. Arkansas Pine Bluff is a lot like Cahokia. We didn't really see it, so it wasn't a clear path or a
Crazy.
blueprint.
Yeah.
To, this is how you get to the NFL. And so maybe after I finished my senior season, I get invited to an All-Star game, East-West Shrine game And it was my first time competing against the Florida States, the LSUs. And then the next week I got invited to the Senior Bowl, which is like the biggest all-star game, and compete with the Georgias and the Alabamas. And that's when I was like, okay, I can do it.
And that's crazy because it wasn't like you just barely made it. You're a 5-time Pro Bowler. You're going into your 12th year.
You great
Insane.
talent in the third round.
Yeah.
You end up being a
Appreciate
5-time Pro Bowler, man.
And it's
Appreciate
crazy
it.
too that, like you said, you didn't realize it. It didn't happen. It wasn't like it was a factory for NFL players, and that you not only made it, but you excelled at the highest level.
A lot of hard work.
That's
A lot of hard
awesome, yeah.
work. Once I started to learn what was needed, what it took, I did it. Sacrificed a lot of fun times, a lot of trips, a lot of hanging out, and put the work in. God's talent that he gave me, I didn't want to let it go to waste. So didn't want to disrespect him at all. I try to use every bit of it. And like I said, it's been a journey. But before I got to the league, I had no idea. Completely oblivious. I never met an NFL player until I got to the New Orleans Saints
Wow.
locker room.
No,
That's amazing.
that's awesome.
Seriously.
That's so cool. Well, and again, we talk about the athleticism. You mentioned at the basketball game, the celebrity basketball game, Tyreek Hill will be there. And just bringing up, you are on the track team. And I think someone superimposed like Tyreek Hill running a 100-meter dash with the Usain Bolt race. And like, I think Tyreek Hill would have medaled, like something insane
Oh,
like
wow.
that. Like
Yeah, wow, yeah.
He's fast,
the
man.
amount of
He is.
athleticism in the NFL, it's incredible. It's mind-boggling. It's one aspect that makes the sport
You ever
so
try to
fun.
race him? You ever try to like
No.
a foot race Tyreek Hill?
No, I haven't. But I talk a lot of trash to him because I got a guy, Tariq Woolen,
Uh-huh.
plays for the Seahawks, and we were all talking trash at a Pro Bowl 2 years ago, and I'm like, I'm putting my money on Woolen. And Tyreek came to me like after, he was like, you know what? Out of everybody in the league, that young boy might get me. Tariq Woolen lands today here. He's coming here. And Tyreek Hill will be
Are you
his.
trying to set it up?
If I can.
Oh my
If
gosh.
I can. Yeah. So both Tariqs will be here.
You got to do it.
I would love
That's
to.
insane.
You got to do
I would
it.
love to. I'm betting on Woolen though. Over Tyreek.
That'll be so
Yeah,
great.
over here.
Wow.
Tonight, the basketball game, 7:00 at Cahokia High School. It's free to attend if you want to see it because you got a good lineup there of folks. You got Tyreek, Laramie Tunzel, you said is going to be there
Tunzel,
too.
yeah.
All right, that's great. And then the football camp tomorrow at Cahokia. All this is happening this weekend. It's good to have you in studio. Thanks for
Thank you.
taking time to
Yeah.
come by.
Appreciate it. Thank you guys for having me.
That is Teron Armstead, again, 5-time Pro Bowler with the Miami Dolphins, who's starting 5 times. He's starting training camp in 2 months. Football season is coming up. Teron Armstead with us on KMOX.
Feel like everything's clouded by doubt? Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com. Our psychics are available to talk 24/7, and we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
I learned it from my adoptive mom. Hold my hand.
You hold my hand. Learn about adopting a teen from foster care at adoptuskids.org. You can't imagine the reward. Brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
You can host the best backyard barbecue. You find a professional on Angie to make your backyard the best around. Connect with skilled professionals to get all your home projects done well. Inside to outside, repairs to renovations. Get started on the Angie app or visit Angie.com today. You can do this when you Angie that.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
If you've been hurt on the job, you need the best. Onder Law. Hurt on the job? Call Onder Law today for a free review at 314 or 618-9000000.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Lombardo Homes welcomes you to Saxony Ridge in Wentzville, a sprawling new home community located off Point Prairie Road, west of Highway Z. Saxony Ridge offers custom new construction homes on 3+ acre home sites in the Francis Howell School District. This private and tranquil community offers spacious home sites surrounded by an abundance of beautiful woodlands and open space. Saxony Ridge homeowners will enjoy the close proximity to New Melly, featuring local restaurants, grocers, and numerous recreational opportunities. For more information, visit lombardohomes.com.
AMCO presents Bet You Didn't Know.
Bet you didn't know that your car's transmission is made up of 800 pieces. Also, bet you didn't know that AMCO's fixed over 40 million transmissions and that AMCO offers a nationwide warranty.
AMCO offers easy payment plan options for most any credit situation, so you can fix it fast and pay it off slow at AMCO.
That's AMCO, AA, MCO.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-838-6161. That's 800-838-6161. 800-838-6161.
No fights, just insights. Talking politics with respect for all. KMOX, your connection to St. Louis and the region.
Don't you tell us not to fight. We'll
no
do it if
fights,
we want.
just insights, brilliance, banter, and roller coasters,
Amy,
baby.
I will fight you right now. Hey, Teron Armstead.
Dude.
That guy, okay. So we were just talking about, I said at the top that NFL players are literally built different. That
Mhm.
guy is literally 6'5", 300.
Yeah.
He's huge. Okay. And the agility it takes to be an offensive tackle in the NFL, you think, oh, there's those big guys, right? They're clogging up space. No, they're agile. They're quick. If they're good, they're really, really fast.
Watch him run a 40 at the combine. It was insane.
He could probably beat me.
Oh, yeah.
He might be able to beat you.
Here's what of course. It takes
You're
me
not a
like
sprinter.
5 miles to get full speed. What amazes me, again, I know people are like, we get it. They're freaks of nature. They're so athletic. Yes, but the average NFL play would probably kill the average person.
It would.
I'm not even joking. It would break my back. My head would explode. I would die. I do think that.
So as soon as I saw him, I looked at him and I thought, can you imagine? Because his job is to protect the quarterback, to keep you from getting to the quarterback. Can you imagine trying to get past that guy?
No. I can't get past Matt Pajeski.
I can't get past most bouncers. That guy,
I know,
for a living, protects a quarterback who's worth tens of millions of dollars.
And the
so they better be
quarterback
good.
has to trust their offensive line. Otherwise, you
Yes.
get like Mark Bulger syndrome, which is like, oh no, I'm going to get hit. Because, he
It's
really
also
couldn't
called
play.
Justin Fields syndrome.
Oh, yeah.
That poor guy.
But I mean, it is amazing. But if you get a chance to YouTube Tyreek Hill in this sprint, and they just superimposed Tyreek Hill's 100-meter sprint with the Usain Bolt race or with the gold medal winning race, And he's right there, not with Usain Bolt, obviously, but he's right there in the mix. That's insane. I mean, the speed, the NFL of all the sports makes the least sense to me. Although I've heard the NBA too is freaks of nature.
Oh, those guys are really impressive
Yeah,
athletes.
yeah.
Just the amount of coordination needed to do what they do is astounding. It's like NFL receivers, I think, are some of the most impressive athletes on the planet.
Yep.
Just to be able to do what they do, and they're usually, not always, but a lot of times they're over 6 foot, sometimes 6'3", 6'4". You get those really big guys with just incredible hands and feet. You're just, I'm so impressed by NFL players.
Yeah. Again, just like the Olympics, where I think this Olympics would be much better if in every event they had an average person, just for perspective. If you put an average person on an NFL field, that person would probably just die in the first place.
There was a guy, and you see a lot of pro versus Joe kind of competitions. I knew a guy who was a writer for the Chicago Sun-Times, and AJ Pierzynski, you remember him? Former Cardinal for a hot minute, was the catcher here behind Yadier Molina, and he did a thing, and they filmed it, where he stood at first base. AJ was behind the plate, caught a pitch, and then Joe tried to steal second. And he didn't even... And Joe's a pretty good athlete. I mean, he's a little older, but he's still fast enough. He never got anywhere close to second. You know? Like, just how good these professional athletes are, you don't realize it until you're up next to them.
Yeah.
It's crazy stuff. That's Amy Marks Coors. I'm Chris Ranji. This is KMOX.
Hey guys, Glover here for my friends at ThrottleNet. So I'm so very proud to have represented the guys at ThrottleNet for all of these years. They are the IT geniuses. George and Mike are the owners. Fantastic guys. They can do all of your IT. They can do a portion of your IT. They have the best Apple support team. Their response time is under 2 minutes. Think about that, under 2 minutes. Something goes sideways with your IT, and they are solving your problem. And they're solving your problem within 2 minutes. Now, let's talk about cybersecurity. Most companies in St. Louis don't have cyber liability insurance. You get hit, you're on the hook, you're probably out of business. With ThrottleNet, if we represent you, we protect you. The first $500,000 that someone hits you for, which isn't going to happen, but if it does, we pay it. $500,000. That's what you're covered for with ThrottleNet. Go to throttlenet.com/DGS for all the information.
All right, summer's just right around the corner. So it's still not too late at all to be proactive on your air conditioning system. One, to make sure it's ready to go. And two, if you were thinking about replacing your system last year or the year before, still good time, good pricing, 0% on the equipment without the price increase yet that's coming here, taking an effect. So if you're like to be proactive, call me. One easy number, Missouri and Illinois. That number is 314-293-2600. Again, very easy, Missouri and Illinois, 314-293-2600. Or the website, bartinman.com. Now that is Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
12:30, cloudy, 78 downtown at the Arch. President Biden is speaking. The reason is the Middle East amid ongoing violence, but he is addressing the guilty verdict of former President Trump.
Yeah, I want to give an update on my efforts to end the crisis in Gaza. For the past several months, my negotiators of foreign policy, intelligence community, and like have been relentlessly focused, not just on a ceasefire that would inevitably be fragile and temporary, but on a durable end of the war. That's been the focus, a durable end of this war. One that brings all the hostages home, ensures Israel's security, creates a better day after in Gaza without Hamas in power, and sets the stage for a political settlement that provides a better future for Israelis and Palestinians alike. Now, after intensive diplomacy carried out by my team, my many conversations with leaders of Israel, Qatar, and Egypt, and other Middle Eastern countries, Israel has offered a comprehensive new proposal. It's a roadmap to an enduring ceasefire and the release of all hostages. This proposal has been transmitted by Qatar to Hamas. Today, I want to lay out its terms for the American citizens and for the world. This new proposal has 3 phases. The first phase would last for 6 weeks. Here's what it would include: a full and complete ceasefire, a withdrawal of Israeli forces from all populated areas of Gaza, release of a number of hostages, including women, the elderly, the wounded, in exchange for release of hundreds of Palestinian prisoners. There are American hostages who would be released at this stage, and we want them home. Additional, some remains of hostages who have been killed would be returned to their families, bringing some degree of closure to that terrible grief. Palestinians, civilians would return to their homes and neighborhoods in all areas of Gaza, including in the north. Humanitarian assistance would surge, with 600 trucks carrying aid into Gaza every single day. With the ceasefire, that aid could be safely and effectively distributed to all who need it. Hundreds of thousands of temporary shelters, including housing units, would be delivered by the international community. All that and more would begin immediately. During the 6 weeks of phase 1, Israel and Hamas would negotiate the necessary arrangements to get to phase 2, which is a permanent end to hostilities. Now, I'll be straight with you. There are a number of details to negotiate to move from phase 1 to phase 2. Israel will want to make sure its interests are protected. But the proposal says if the negotiations take longer than 6 weeks for phase 1, the ceasefire will still continue as long as negotiations continue. In the United States, Egypt, and Qatar would work to ensure negotiations keep going. All agreements, until all the agreements are reached and phase 2 is able to begin. Then phase 2, there'd be an exchange for the release of all remaining living hostages, including male soldiers. Israeli forces would withdraw from Gaza. And as long as Hamas lives up to its commitments, a temporary ceasefire would become, in the words of the Israeli proposal, the cessation of hostilities permanently, end of quote. Cessation of hostilities permanently. Finally, in phase 3, a major reconstruction plan for Gaza would commence, and any final remains of hostages who've been killed would be returned to their families. That's the offer that's now on the table, and what we've been asking for. It's what we need. The people of Israel should know they can make this offer without any further risk to their own security because they've devastated Hamas forces over the past 8 months. At this point, Hamas no longer is capable of carrying out another October 7th. It's one of Israel's main objectives in this war, and quite frankly, a righteous one. I know there are those in Israel who will not agree with this plan and will call for the war to continue indefinitely. Some are even in the government coalition. And they've made it clear they want to occupy Gaza. They want to keep fighting for years. And the hostages are not a priority to them. Well, I've urged the leadership in Israel to stand behind this deal, despite whatever pressure comes.
KMOX is covering breaking news.
You've been listening to President Biden there, speaking live from the White House with some major breaking news when it comes to the Gaza situation. He says that Israel has offered a comprehensive new peace proposal that would include the release of all hostages, including soldiers on both sides, and would result in not just a ceasefire, but a cessation of hostilities. And phase 3 would involve the reconstruction of Gaza. He does say that Israel's war has been righteous, but he says that they have succeeded in decimating Hamas. Again, a peace proposal from Israel being announced by President Biden right now.
After an off day yesterday, the Cardinals are back at tonight. They are in Philadelphia to open up a 3-game weekend series. Miles Michaelis starts tonight for the Cardinals. He's 3-5 with a 5.64 ERA. He has a career 4.26 ERA in 8 career appearances against the Phillies. Philadelphia will go with Aaron Nola. He comes in 6-2 with a 3.04 ERA. The Cardinals still trying to figure him out. In 12 starts against the Cardinals, he's 7-3 with a 2.54 ERA. First pitch tonight is scheduled for 5:40. That means our coverage begins at 4:45. The Redbird Report is sponsored by Aloha Pools USA. Win big with a pool or spa at AlohaPoolsUSA.com. Matt Pauley, KMOX Sports.
We've got debris on 55 going north at Broadway. The center 2 lanes are closed. Slow-moving roadwork on 270 north at Gravois. The left lane's blocked. And 44 east at Grand, there is roadwork that has the left lane blocked. This afternoon, a mix of sun and clouds, breezy warm with a high of 84. For tonight, couple of showers, a thunderstorm. Could be accumulation of water on streets and highways. Overnight low 66. For tomorrow, couple of showers and a thunderstorm with a high of 78. Right now, we do have some clouds. It's 78 downtown at the Arch. Again, the breaking news, President Biden is still speaking.
War. And with this deal, Israel could become more deeply integrated in the region.
About a deal that Israel is offering to Hamas through Qatar that would result in the release of hostages and an end, not just a ceasefire, but an end to hostilities and the reconstruction economically of Gaza. It is 12:37. We'll have more on this as we continue. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up. Call Jerry Kelly at 8 a.m. or 8 p.m. and we'll get there fast. There's a reason Jerry Kelly has been your neighbor's favorite heating and cooling company for nearly 2 decades.
JerryKelly.com. They're fast and they're good and they got it going on. JerryKelly.com.
Do you feel like you're going through life clouded by doubt? Talk to California Psychics. Our trusted and accurate psychics are available 24/7. And we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Download the app or connect with us at CaliforniaPsychics.com. Right now, new customers get 80% off their first reading. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
You're in hot water, mister.
What'd I do?
I told you months ago our utility bills were getting higher because of that old outdated tank water heater.
Maybe it's time we finally switch to a Navien tankless.
Learn about Navient's high-efficiency tankless water heaters, endless hot water, all while helping you save on your energy costs.
Hey, look at this. Our utility bill is lower since we got the Navien tankless water heater.
Who's in hot water now?
We are, all the time.
Learn more at tanklessmadesimple.com.
We're the Goo Goo Dolls. We're fortunate that our daughters have what they need to grow and learn. But that isn't the case for nearly 13 million kids in the U.S. that struggle with hunger.
Childhood hunger is a heartbreaking reality that Feeding America is working to change. Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste and provides it to families and children in need.
You can help kids in need in your community by visiting feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Feel like everything's clouded by doubt? Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com. Our psychics are available to talk 24/7, and we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
I learned it from my adoptive mom. Hold my hand.
You hold my hand. Learn about adopting a teen from foster care at adoptuskids.org. You can't imagine the reward. Brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Angie's List is now Angie, and we've heard a lot of theories about why.
I thought it was an eco move. Fewer words, less paper.
No, it was so you could say it faster.
No, it's to be more iconic.
Must be a tech thing. But those aren't quite right. It's because now you can compare upfront prices, book a service instantly, and even get your project handled from start to finish.
Sounds easy.
It is, and it makes us so much more than just a list. Get started at Angie.com. That's ANGI, or download the app today.
And paid for by AG Marketing Group. Attention timeshare owners. If you need to get rid of your timeshare for any reason, please listen to the following message. Getting out of a timeshare commitment is not easy, and it takes time. But we specialize in helping consumers legally get rid of their expensive timeshares forever. Can't get the vacation dates that work for you? Maybe you felt taken advantage of or forced into the timeshare? Maybe you just can't continue to shoulder those monthly payments any longer. If you need to eliminate your timeshare commitment, then you need to take down this number, 800-866-7061. We will safely and legally get rid of your timeshare payments forever, all with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Don't continue to let your timeshare be a financial burden to you and your loved ones. Call us now at 800-866-7061. The call is free. The consultation is free. Call 800-866-7061. That's 800-866-7061. Again, 800-866-7061.
News Radio KMOX, the home of the Cardinals.
Well, the show today began with a press conference from former President Donald Trump. Yesterday was convicted on 34 felony counts on the what has been called the hush money trial. And today he delivered remarks at Trump Tower. It was rambling.
Was he a bad boy here? Was he a bad boy there?
Look,
I think he was a bad boy everywhere, is what they came up with.
Okay, well.
Yeah.
So anyway, that did happen today. And look, I just played that just now, right? And it sounds like we are making fun of him, which we're not. It's just, it was
Gallows
amusing
humor.
because it really did not have a focus. He came out immediately and started with immigration. The first thing out of his mouth was about the border and people crossing the border illegally. We thought it would have been about the trial yesterday, which concluded with a verdict, but he eventually got to it. It was all over the place.
Yeah, which to me was not a surprise because it's been 8 years since he ran for president the first time. He's 8 years older. He has 8 years of junk and victimhood under his belt. And he also always goes off script. The times that he was pulled together, he had at least some decent people around him writing his speeches and imploring him to stay on script. He doesn't have that anymore. He's gotten rid of any credible advisors, and he's incredibly lazy, so he doesn't prepare. This is what you would expect. Okay, Ranj, not sure if you saw this. Over in Michigan, dairy workers have been suffering, a couple of them, from bird flu. And by couple, literally 2. They're getting bird flu from infected cows. Well, a third dairy worker has been diagnosed with bird flu. So this is now the third human case associated with the outbreak with dairy cows. He reported a cough, congestion, sore throat, and watery eyes. The other 2 patients only had eye symptoms. So the farm worker was given antivirals and is recovering from respiratory symptoms. The health officials say the risk to the public remains low. Do you feel that, or do you feel nervous because of COVID?
I don't feel that nervous. Bird flu seems to be a thing that happens occasionally here. We tend to do pretty well with it. The only thing that would concern me when it comes to any future potential epidemic is I don't think for a while people will treat any of them seriously. That's the only thing that really concerns me. You like the NBA? Well, you better. It's good and it's fun. And Jason Tatum has an opportunity to potentially win an NBA title. The finals have been set. They will begin on June 6th, which is next week. It is on Thursday. That'll be game 1 between the Boston Celtics and the Dallas Mavericks. And I'm very torn here. I don't want anything good for Boston. And all Boston people, anybody who's ever rooted for the Boston teams, I hope you never win another championship ever.
It's been months since they've won something. Probably.
I would like to see Jason Tatum win something. I think that would be very cool. But also, I like Luka Doncic, who plays for the Mavericks. He's a really fun and exciting player. I really don't like Kyrie Irving, who I think is a complete doofus, and I don't want anything good for him. So I don't know what to think with the NBA Finals.
Do you think the NBA will eventually overtake the NFL in popularity?
No.
Okay.
NFL it's
untouchable.
It's untouchable, even though the NBA is very, very popular and a whole lot of fun.
All right. This is something that I figured would happen. Social media kids, right? They maybe 15 years ago, their parents took pictures of them as babies and toddlers and posted them online. We've all had friends who have done that. Well, now these kids are growing up. It's the first generation of social media babies who are adults. And they're not happy about it because as they've grown up, they've realized their life has been for all of the public to see, for all of the world to see, some really personal moments, like one of the young people. She's now 25, but they're advocating for young people who were against their will or without their knowledge put on social media by their parents to get financially compensated and have the right to take those posts off of social media. Because for her, when she started her first menstrual cycle, her mom took a picture and said, my little girl is a woman today. And then she grew up and saw her mom's social media post and realized all of this stuff was on there. I think that's criminal. I can't stand that.
Me neither. And I tell you what's interesting. We are now finally getting to the era where children are coming into the world and their parents have spent their entire lives on social media.
Yeah.
Since the time they were born, social media was around. So they have literally grown up with it. And now they are going to start having kids. So what, you'd be like 20 years old? Right now, you could potentially be having children at 20 years old. This is a very interesting era we are working our way into. That's Amy Marks Kors. I'm Chris Ranji. This is KMOX.
Well, it has been so nice out. And when the weather is like this, that's when you most want an outdoor space, a backyard space that looks nice, that's beautiful, that's functional for hosting family and friends, or maybe just having the neighbors over for an impromptu barbecue. Here's what you need to do. STLFenceworks.com. You've got your phone in your hand, you're on your computer, head to STLFenceworks.com. You've heard them say, at STL Fenceworks, your satisfaction is our passion. That's because at STL Fenceworks, they're family owned and operated. They're locally owned and operated. Your neighborhoods are their neighborhoods, and they are as invested in your project as you are. It means that you're not just getting a deck or a fence that meets your expectations, but it exceeds your expectation. It means that they stand behind their craftsmanship with a lifetime warranty that surpasses anything else in the industry. Trust me, you will love working with STL Fenceworks. Tell them Amy from KMOX sent you. STLFenceworks.com.
Odyssey's I'm Listening is our commitment to more mental health conversations. Cowboys QB Dak Prescott wants everyone to talk about their mental health.
I think the more and more that we can continue to talk and allow people to understand that it's okay to ask for help, the more people get help, the more I think that we'll be able to provide with resources.
Talk saves lives. For more mental health conversations, visit imlistening.org.
Sponsored by Compass Health Network. Inspire hope. Promote wellness.
I see clearly now thanks to the doctors, Birdie, Malhotra, Brusati, Royer, and Barry. You can too. Go to yourEyeDoc.com.
We are heading into the make it or break it season for your air conditioning system. Comfort Solutions Heating and Cooling is a Lennox dealer, which is an outstanding brand. And Comfort Solutions has been in business for 30 years. And as I mentioned, a Lennox dealer. So they can install a brand new Lennox system with no interest for 5 years on that new Lennox air conditioner, plus a 10-year parts and condenser warranty. 24-hour service nights and weekends, 314-968-9900, 968-9900, or online at comfortsolutionsstl.com.
SNL Coin. We buy gold and silver coins, silver and gold jewelry. Also buying gold-filled and silver plates. Before you sell, call SNL. 314-544-3600. 314-544-3600. SNL Coin.
Hi, this is Ken Newbold for Newbold Toyota and Newbold BMW, a family-owned dealership group that has been around for 50 years as a Toyota dealer and 25 years in O'Fallon, Illinois. So come see us. That's Newbold Toyota in O'Fallon or newboldtoyota.com. You'll be sold on Newbold.
Hey guys, it's not too late for a deep spring cleaning on your home. Give my friends at Zero Res a call, 314-474-2020. Schedule today and get 3 rooms of carpet clean for just $129 and take $50 off your air duct cleaning. Make sure you mention the DGS when you go to ZeroResSTL.com.
The KMOX Studios, powered by Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com.
That's GetJim.com.
Your passport into a world of wit and wisdom and a splash of humor. Chris and Amy on the Voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Cardinals are back at it tonight in Philadelphia against an incredibly good Phillies team. Arguably the best team in baseball right now, so it's going to be a challenging weekend in Pennsylvania. We will see how the Cardinals do. We will listen to the broadcast right here on KMOX. Matt Pauley has the pregame show at 4:45. First pitch is at 5:40, and our guy Matthew is going to be part of the call tonight. He is actually filling in, and so he'll be calling Cardinals baseball from Philly. Miles Michaelis and Aaron Nola is the matchup. Get the Odyssey app, AUDACY, and if you're in the listening area, you can listen to Cardinals baseball for free. It sounds fantastic, and you can have it right on your phone.
Independent presidential candidate RFK Jr. He filed a complaint with the Federal Elections Commission against CNN and against the campaigns of President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump over their debate next month. He is claiming that they are holding him to, quote, different criteria to participate in the debate. So he feels that basically they're colluding to keep RFK Jr. off the debate stage. And he is close to meeting the polling requirement after 3 recent polls. He has until June 20th to hit the 15% mark, and he is close, but he is very far from meeting the electoral vote requirement.
See, I understand people desperately want a third option, and I get it. I would love for there to be a third viable option, but in the way this works, the way our country works, a third-party candidate is not a viable option. All a third-party candidate ever really does is help to hurt one of the other candidates. That's all they are here for. So I don't really think we should take RFK Jr. seriously. There might be a lot of people who like him and would like the idea of it. He's not a serious candidate. He has absolutely no chance of winning. There's no reason for us to entertain him on a debate stage or really for him to be on ballots.
Well,
it's not realistic, and we shouldn't pretend like it is.
And also, I do think he has a chance to be a spoiler, and that's what's so weird. I don't know which side he would be a spoiler for. It seems that he could be a spoiler for Biden, but you would think that he would be a spoiler for Trump.
I really don't know either.
And I have no idea what to make of that.
Some of the polls that you see, if they remove him from it, the gap between Biden and Trump doesn't change, which leads you to believe that he is splitting their votes, which is a really interesting place to be. But let's not pretend like he's a serious candidate. You may have seen Tim Scott, who posted this video today.
I can't believe the hoax, this sham, this absolute injustice justice system. DA Bragg and the judge should be ashamed of themselves. This isn't just ridiculous. This actually erodes the confidence that Americans have in the justice system. Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Here's my problem with what Tim Scott is doing, and anybody like Ted Cruz or the people that we have mentioned over the last several weeks who have done this, that it's all rigged, it's all a witch hunt, and yada, yada, yada. He knows better. He knows that that's not what this is. He knows that this is not the judicial system now all out to get Donald Trump. That's not what's happening here. You may not like Alvin Bragg. You may think that this was political in nature, and you might be right about that. But the entire system is not out to get him. And the other thing that I don't like, and you hear this when it comes to elections, and Tim Scott himself has done this, where he said people have questions about the election. People aren't sure that elections do have integrity. Why do they believe that? Because you keep telling them that something fishy happened with the election. You keep telling them that the election was stolen and that it's not safe and secure, when we know the last election was the most secure in history and the most vetted in history.
Yeah, and also I was watching the Fox News coverage, as well as CNN, but I switched to Fox for a while after Trump's verdict was read. And here's the thing. It's like they give everyone a sheet of buzzwords to say: hoax, sham, disgrace, and Banana Republic. And I thought it would be like, hey, we should have a drinking game every time they say Banana Republic. Don't do that. You will get alcohol poisoning.
You'll die.
You will die of alcohol poisoning if you try to do a drinking game to Banana Republic.
We're going to be back on Monday, aren't we? Well, you're not.
I'm
You're
not.
going other places, but I'm going to be here with John Hancock. My guy John and I will have the show Monday morning starting at 10 o'clock. In the meantime, anything you've missed, if you're traveling over the weekend, if you're getting in the car and driving and you want something to listen to and you missed any part of the show today, I've got a great idea. Download the Odyssey app and listen to the podcasts of the Chris and Amy Show. It's right there for you. Any segments you missed, the interview with Teron Armstead, 5-time Pro Bowler Teron Armstead. That dude's huge, and he was great, and he was in studio today. Go back and listen to it. AUDACY. It's all totally free. We'll be back Monday, 10 o'clock. Hancock and me. Amy will be back on Tuesday. Have a terrific weekend. We'll talk to you soon. Amy Marks Kors, Chris Ranji on KMOX.
And was threatened with jail. But, he's a sleazebag. I'm under a gag order. Nasty gag order.
Wait. Now, wait a little longer. Great. You may have just increased your lifetime income by tens of thousands of dollars. That's how Social Security